Once again, before we start, to keep your videos on, voices will be muted just for the smooth conduction of all the other items, presentations while they are going. So that shall be muted. But when the time comes for the case studies and the interactive sessions, you guys can unmute and present your submissions as and when we call out your names. So once again, the same rules go with the second day as well. I shall say like the features, not the rules, that you could always feel free to type whatever questions you have right there when the presentations are going on or the sessions are going on or even after. And it will be considered. We will read out those questions and then answers. We will try to give answers as and when possible. The first item of today is a presentation, video presentation by our keynote speaker for today, Darshan Saraf. So Darshan Saraf is a fourth-year student pursuing a bachelor's degree in accounting and finance management at the University of Waterloo. He has completed 3 co-op terms at BDO Canada in the Audit and Assurance Division and also is currently working with Forensic Accounting team. And he aspires to get the designation of Chartered Professional Accountant. So he enjoys playing and watching soccer, assisting with community development projects. One of the community activities is association with SVBF as well, and reading spy novels, political thrillers. He's looking forward to meeting the leaders of tomorrow through the video at Jnana Spandana today. Darshan is going to talk on civic responsibilities, which we all feel that, for today's youth, it is really good to know and be aware of their responsibilities. So let's get to know more through the video. Over to Panaga.
Thank you, Nanda. I'm sharing.
Leadership is important to everyone, whether it's leading a school project, captaining a sports team, or running a company. Leadership plays,
Volume can be raised.
and that's why having good
I have
leadership
full
for the
volume.
most important job of all, running a country, is vital to the success of the nation and its people. You may call that leading a country, others may call that politics. Either way, it's a responsibility that we all share. My name is Darshan Saraf. I'm a fourth-year student at the University of Waterloo in their School of Accounting and Finance, studying accounting and financial management. Now, before we jump into citizenship and our power, I just want to briefly explain how government works in Canada. Parliament is formed by the monarch, which is represented by the Governor-General, senators, and members of Parliament. The Governor-General represents the Queen of England, and senators are appointed by the Governor-General with a recommendation of the Prime Minister, and they stay in their roles until the age of 75. And then the MPs are elected, which are members of Parliament, are elected by citizens in each of the districts, also known as ridings. They hold their position for 4 years, and the leader of the party with the most MPs is the Prime Minister. Now that we understand how our government works, I'm sure you are realizing the power that we as a society have when it comes to selecting our leaders. Everyone has seen these signs with our candidates running in our local towns and cities and districts. Those signs are meant for us as citizens to vote. I know what you're thinking. The voting age in Canada is 18. I still have a few years to go. Why should I care about voting or politics or government? Why does it matter what's going on around the world, especially in Canada and the United States? If anyone, it should be my parents and their responsibility to vote. Why do I matter? This is one of the most common issues and questions youth face, and I'll tell you why we matter. I know what you're thinking. The voting age in Canada is 18. I still have a few years to go. Why should I care about voting or politics or government? Why does it matter what's going on around the world, especially in Canada and the United States? If anyone, it should be my parents and their responsibility to vote. Why do I matter? This is one of the most common issues and questions youth face, and I'll tell you why we matter. Well, the first step is gathering information. Earlier I mentioned leadership is involved when we come to run a company. Let's draw a parallel here. In business, you have two positions that are deemed as leaders: founders and CEOs. Founders create the company and help it grow through ups and downs. CEOs are chosen by shareholders and serve until they're voted out by the same shareholders or board of directors if they aren't satisfied. You can see that founders have a closer tie to the company and a bigger stake in its success. Therefore, they take ownership when it comes to decisions. While CEOs have power, but they're there to guide the company for a limited time. We can compare that structure and the behavior of those two roles to leadership positions in government. When it comes to Canadian or American leaders, we have one leader who remains in power for 4 years. So candidates who want to be prime minister or president try their best to get elected. And the day they are elected, they try their best to get re-elected. So it's quite obvious and understandable that the laws and actions by our leaders are done in the short term. Why is this important? Well, some decisions and rules made by government in power may have attractive short-term benefits, but have long-term consequences. For example, wiping student loans might be something candidates often run on and talk about as they're approaching their race for some sort of leadership position. Student loan forgiveness sounds great. Trust me, as a student about to graduate, it sounds fantastic. But let's take a closer look. As of 2021, total student debt in Canada was around $20 billion. These are all the fees from universities and other post-secondary schools. If most of the loans, or if all the loans are completely wiped, it's great for us students. But what happens to the amount? It has to be paid by someone, right? Does someone pay for it, or does it get drawn from some other initiative or resource? Who pays for it? Well, ultimately, directly or indirectly, taxpayers do, meaning all of us. It may not be in the current term, with the whole simply passed on to whoever takes on that hot potato. I'll give you another example. We've all learned about the climate change problem. Apart from the minority who are climate change naysayers, the rest of us all want the Earth to be a sustainable and healthy planet. Does the government have the power to force everyone to go green tomorrow? Absolutely. But as great as that sounds, what about the $2.1 trillion fossil fuel industry? It's quite easy to sit here in Toronto talking about climate change and how we should go green. Meanwhile, in places like Alberta in our own country and Louisiana or Texas in the States, families dedicate their business and lives to oil. Generations with fathers as oil drillers, daughters as executives, and grandsons as engineers exist completely dependent on that oil industry. So it's great if we can hit the switch, throw in some tax incentives or economic levers, and go green tomorrow. But that industry greatly impacts billions directly and indirectly. So what happens to their jobs if we go by what feels good now instead of considering the other side and the future? By no means should we favor certain decisions just because they're financially better. But the economy deserves just as much of value and attention as we give to other issues like climate change. Gather as much information as you can, not just about topics you agree with, but the other side as well. Understand where they're coming from and what is the basis of their argument. The next step is to ask questions. Do not be afraid to ask questions of your leaders and their proposals and ideas. If the government or candidates promise something or offer something, do not hesitate to ask, who benefits? Is this a common good for society or just a select group? Who pays for it? How will this initiative be funded? Can we get this done without taxpayers' money? What is the reasoning or drive behind such a proposal? Is there a social benefit or an economic benefit? Asking questions and questioning the beliefs and words of others will complete your understanding of an idea and the direct and indirect consequences that idea has. Challenging others may also help them understand something new, therefore growing as a society. When it comes to voicing our opinions as adults, it's pretty straightforward. We can do that by voting, by showing up and fulfilling our responsibilities as citizens to elect our leaders. As youth, there can be other ways that we can use our voice. Plain and simple, when we want to create change, we can write to our local MPs. These are the individuals that I spoke about earlier that are in charge of your region. It is their responsibility to hear you regardless of age and to help you. We can also use opportunities in the area. Maybe there are volunteering initiatives or drives that aim to push an idea or push a voice. We can take part in that. And we can use social media in the right way, not just by resharing or reposting to the same circles who have the same idea, but consuming the content that isn't biased and looking for other areas where your opinion may be completely different than someone else's. And speaking of bias, know that everyone has an opinion based on people around them and their personal experiences. Our parents have opinions. Our leaders have opinions. Our media have opinions. And our teachers have opinions. It is our responsibility to learn and understand what makes up such opinions. Is it a personal experience? Or is it based on facts or science? Or maybe it's just for personal gain. Know what is an opinion and what is a fact, and use them to base your judgment. Finally, supporting our leader is important. We live in a divided time. For most developed countries, there are forces in place that will ensure that a candidate who has been selected or elected as leader has won in a legal and just manner. So, for the rest of us, it is our responsibility to support our MP, our Prime Minister, or President, even if they are not the ones that we wanted. Elections will come around and change will always happen. But in the meantime, we have to show our respect. To say, not my leader or not my president, is truly an unpatriotic act. So let's recap. What can we do as youth to ensure that we are fulfilling our responsibilities as citizens? We can gather information based on fact from all sides. We can ask questions and challenge ideas with the goal of learning. We can understand what is an opinion and what's a fact, and voice our opinion in any capacity, be it a vote or through other initiatives. And finally, we need to support our leader, which in turn is supporting our country. Many of our parents are immigrants who have come to this country to try and give us a better life. Now it is our responsibility to make sure that our government does that. Everyone likes a warm hug and good feelings, but facts matter and livelihoods matter. We need the right people in the right places, so remember, even though politicians and leaders seek power, that power to give them a chance lies with us. There may be people decades older with more experience than us who are leaders now. But you, myself, and people our age, we are the leaders of tomorrow. We owe it to our parents, to us, to our future, to our children and grandchildren, regardless of your field of choice, be it engineering, business, law, medicine, or any of the hundreds of fields out there. Understand what has happened over the past few decades. understand what is happening now, take a stance to protect our future, and do not be afraid to challenge authority respectfully. That is your civic responsibility.
Wow, I think it was very practical and put together in a very simplified version that our young delegates here sitting and watching the video, most of it I think you all could absorb. I believe and trust so. And should you have any questions, Darshan has given us a message that he will get back to you, and we can email back to same thing, gnanaspandana@gmail.com, or the WhatsApp. You can use all these to express your opinion, give your feedback, as well as ask questions if there are any. So we are very thankful to Darshan for giving us this video, which is so useful. That's what I believe, and I trust that it could be of some use to you all. And we all necessarily should understand our civic responsibilities being citizens of this great country. So saying, next we shall proceed to the presentation by our own Panaga. So she doesn't need any introduction. We have been here since yesterday. So Panaga will be dealing with a very interesting, a light topic. I hope you all like it. It is about etiquette and good manners, which we all need to imbibe in our lives, young or old, big or small, regardless. So let's go with Panaga.
Thank you very much, Nanda. So today let's talk about etiquette and good manners. Why is etiquette and good manners necessary? As people with good manners have an edge in the society, and it can be academically or in social settings with parents or family or community, when you're working with volunteering opportunities, everywhere you are watched, not in the literal sense, but the way you behave, the way you conduct yourself it's very important. Saying please and thank you, saying you're welcome, you asking excuse me. These are some simple tips of developing etiquette and good manners. Etiquette will go a little more further than just saying what you say. And that needs some understanding from the behind of the other person's perspectives. So having empathy. Say if you're talking to a person with limited abilities, a person in a wheelchair, a person who's using a cane, a person who uses sign language. So you'll have to understand from their perspective when you have to interact with them. And if you're in public situations, maybe in public transportation, where you may offer a seat to somebody who's elderly, or a person, a mom with a small child. So all these becomes very important on how we conduct. And based on that, you will also gain trust of people. So when you're doing in a consistent way, the good manners and etiquette, you will be seen as a person that people can trust. They can entrust you with certain things. So that is going to be a big plus. But at the same time, it is very convenient when things work your way and you know how to behave rather than having a social embarrassment situation. So let's understand etiquette and good manners today. So let's talk about the list. And this is a very high level list, and you may even find more similar things, but let's talk about asking before something. So when you're borrowing, when you want to borrow something from somebody, rather than take it from them just like that without telling them, it's a good manner to ask somebody, especially we do that in the family, within the family. If it's mom and dad or sibling, and we have to take something, for the most part, we just take it. We don't tell them. But you do see some of the siblings like, you didn't tell me, you didn't ask me, you didn't borrow, I didn't say yes. You have heard that, right? It's a nice thing that if something belongs to somebody, to let them know, even to text them, to let them know that you want to be using certain things. It is a nice gesture, one. It gives them the respect of them owning the item that you're utilizing for a short period of time. So it is good to ask them before you borrow. Sports and fun activities. When we play sports or activities and having fun in the soccer, so our friend Aditya was playing soccer. So when we go play soccer or other fun activities, we need to be mindful of this is just a game. Somebody will lose, somebody will win. And not to take that to mind and feel bad or feel negative about the person who lost, or negative about the person who won because you lost, one way or the other. Be sportive, take it as a fun activity, and make use of that situation to say, hey, my friend, I saw you play really well and I didn't play as much, but can you give me some tips? Now that person has a lot of respect for you, not because you lost, because you appreciated their skills and and asked them, reached them out, and you acknowledged the hard work they put in to become that good. Generally, it takes a lot of hard work to be successful, and having patience and feeling for the others, and taking things in a light way. You don't have to be serious all the time. When you're having fun, have fun. When you're playing sport, play the game, but don't take it too seriously. Saying sorry. A lot of people we have seen and most of us, all of us, will do a mistake or the other all the time. And it happens, right? Small mistakes, big mistakes, we forgot to let them know, or we forgot to ask something, communicate something, whatever, right? So when you realize that certain things have gone wrong, it's not a bad idea to say sorry, and you acknowledge, go to the person, look them in the eye and say, I did not realize I made a mistake. I made you feel hurt, but that was not my intent. I'm so sorry about it. It is not degrading of yourself. A lot of people think that way, but trust me, when you acknowledge your mistake, the next time your mind will remind you, hey, by the way, don't do this again, because remember what happened. So you will never make that mistake. That's one. You will also ensure that by saying sorry, that you respect that person's feelings, that person will have double the trust and become more closer and more friendlier with you. And if somebody else, a third person who's not related to this scenario, but would have seen you say sorry in a very nice way, that person would really also trust you. So you will gain more than losing by saying sorry. So, and it's always good to commit, or to say, yes, I have done a mistake, and that's okay, and acknowledge it. That's fine. Do not make fun of people. There is a fine line when you're having fun with friends and making jokes, and somebody has a funny hair, somebody has a funny funny face, or something they made it up. It's okay to a certain level, but when you see that that person may be feeling bad or could feel bad even before you start, it's a very fine line. You have to understand from that person's perspective if that is a possible birth defect, or something that they stutter a lot. and that is something that they cannot help. Don't make fun of those kind of things. What can be a better opportunity to lighten up the situation? Make fun of yourself and laugh about it, and that's fine, because everybody will either empathize on you or laugh with you, and there is no negativity that can spread. But when you laugh at somebody, be sure that you're not singling them out and making a joke out of some situation that they are helpless about. So that's a fine line. So keep an eye on that. You may lose a lot of friendship, friends, and trust from that perspective. Phone and gadget etiquette. This, phone and gadget. So all of us, and including myself, when I'm on call and I get messages, if I'm in a social situation, I do end up looking at my phone once in a while. But ensure that if you're talking to somebody, if you're face to face talking to somebody and a phone rings, unless that call is really, really important and there is somebody in the line who really needs your help right away, important and urgent, like how we talked yesterday, it's very important, it's urgent, only then you pick up the call. If you're talking to somebody, you're in a conversation and somebody calls, you pick up the phone and walk away, it's very disrespectful. Disrespectful because that person who is given the time and attention and discussing something very important to that person at that time, if you just let go and walk away and come back in 10 minutes and say, so you were saying, they say, that time is gone. Sorry, my friend, I can't say that. I can't go back to that time, have that feeling and express it. So you kind of lost that opportunity. At the same time, when you are at the dinner table, talking to people, having dinner with family or with friends, and you're just texting somebody or looking at somebody, and it's not an important thing that you're doing, don't do that. Because the gadgets, the phone, the apps, the Instagram, TikToks, everything is there for your entertainment. That, if you look at the 4 quadrants we were talking yesterday, it's neither important nor urgent. It's a caution area. So this caution area, you have to exercise caution, or else you may end up spending a lot of your time, a lot of your days doing the unnecessary texting and looking at phone, and miss out on the important connections within the family. And when family, say for example, your sibling, you have an older sibling, and you kind of didn't pay attention, and the sibling moves out and goes to the university and then lives in the residence, you'll miss them, right? So you might want to cultivate that habit of giving importance for the family time, for the friends time, when you're sitting together to do something together, not fiddling with the phone. Especially another area is when you have committed yourself time to volunteer and you go to that place to volunteer, and then that uncle and aunt, whoever is helping you with the volunteering, or the person in charge there, if they want to take a moment to find certain stuff so that they can come and ask you to do it, and then the person who's supposed to be volunteering is now fiddling with the gadget, that doesn't show well. That doesn't, that person say, I don't want to call this person again for the volunteering, because I'm talking to myself and this person is looking at the phone, they're not paying attention. I don't know what quality of work they'll do, even though you may end up doing a good quality work. That will give a perception of you're not serious about anything, and you don't want to be in that situation. Okay, next item, showing respect to elders. We may have elderly people living with us in our families. We may not have them right in our families or in our homes, but extended families. It could be our grandparents who live back in India, or it could be somebody who we are visiting who have an elderly person. most of the time what happens is an elderly person has lost touch with the multiple things that's happening in the society, all the new technologies that we have. They're not in touch as much. They may be, that's good for them, but they may not be. They may not be in touch with what's going on in the say in the news, and they're not very up to date, or they may have physical disabilities, or they may have limitations of motion, moving around, or they may have memory issues. All these can happen because of the old age. And sooner or later, we will also, all of us, get old and we will get into that situation. When that happens, we don't want to be saying, hey, this youngsters, they don't even understand. We want to be the ones who understand what they could be going through. We may not exactly know what they're going through, but at least have that understanding and empathy of, yes, this is not an easy thing for an elderly person. They're going through a lot of pains. They have some limitation, vision limitation, walking limitations. Let us help them out. And the least you can do is have gratitude. The elders try to tell a lot of stories of their good old days, and we have a habit of making fun of that. But then there's a lot that they have gone through. They have experienced life. They have seen things in very up close. They could be good things or bad things, or catastrophic things in some cases. And they potentially, in most cases, have something to say. The things that they remember are something that they really truly feel that they have to share with the next generation, so that the next generation won't do the same mistakes that they had done accidentally, or things that they have done and succeeded. They want the next generation to know, so that the success can continue. It may not go exactly how that happened to them, but there is really worth listening to them, understanding their perspective, make it, internalize it to yourself, and give it your own flavor, and understand that, yes, that was a limitation of that age, but in my age, if the similar things happen, what I can do. So you can do that, but at the same time, don't disregard what they're saying, and take that as an education, a part of education. Maybe you'll learn a lot. Maybe, it'll open a certain door of opportunity for you. You never know. Being a good guest and being a good host. So let me say them both together here. So when you're visiting somebody and you're a guest at a friend's place, know that you are invited and you are given everything, yes, and they're very sweet and nice, but at the same time, know that there are limitations, and you are a guest, and you have to respect your boundaries as a guest. So, for example, you go as a guest, you meet somebody, and then you get introduced to a bunch of people. Say namaste, join the hands, look them in the eye, say namaste. Or if it's a different situation, it's not a Indian setup there, then say hello, shake hands if needed, give them a hug, touch their feet. Even if you don't want to go all the way touching the feet, touch at least the knee of that older person. If the person is older than you, much older than you, then touch them, touch their knee and touch your head. That shows respect. That shows that you really care, you acknowledge. And when you're at somebody's house, don't make a fuss of, oh, I don't eat this and I don't want this, I don't sit here, I don't, it's not your home. You're a guest there. And try to accommodate yourself. Try to feel comfortable. And you don't expect your host to be with you the whole time. It may be a party and there'll be 20 people. And your guest may be running around, getting things together, introducing people. They may come and spend some time with you, but don't have the urge that you feel lost if the person who is your host is not with you. Try to go prepared if possible, ask the host ahead of time who is coming, so you're prepared. If you don't know who the person who's coming, get to understand the background, or get to see what this gathering is about. Is this about a birthday party? Is this about a social event? Is this about a civic responsibility? Maybe it's regarding a community where they're inviting an MP to come and do a campaign. So if you know the background, you go prepared to talk about a couple of topics, a few topics. Do some reading beforehand and see what is happening in the news with regards to that kind of topic. And if it is, say, an election time and an MP is coming, get to know your local riding. Who is in your local riding, and what they are saying that they would do for the if they are elected. Every campaigner has a list of things that they promise the voters. So get to know, and when you're in the conversation, then you may want to bring up these pointers that you have studied in a conversation with a totally new person that you have met. Who knows, you'll probably become good friends and work together, or have network and connect together, maybe go to the same university. So many things can happen. So keep an open mind, because when you have an open mind, you're not too agitated about, oh, who's looking at my dress or my hair is my thing. You get dressed, and then when you go, you just feel comfortable. Whatever I am, I'm not messy and I'm good. And if people really are judging, maybe you potentially won't be a good friend with them anyways. But for the most cases, they are very nice people around, and people are not judging. We just get self insecure and become too self-conscious about it. When you're being a good host, so if you're hosting and you invite people, so this is the tables turn, the other side. So when you're a good host, you try your best to provide information to your guests ahead of time. The same thing. What is this gathering about? Make them comfortable. Give them information ahead of time, and when they come, get them to introduce people of the like ideas, or people who think in the like-mindedness. In a couple of situations, if I can point out, there were two youngsters. Actually, they were, I think, grade sixers. Actually, there was let me start again. So this was a gathering that I went to, and I was a host. And I knew that a grandma is coming with her grandson, and that grandson was a grade sixer. But that grandson was from a different city, so he was not acquainted with anybody who was coming to that gathering. So I needed to ensure that this kid really had a good time. And the grandma was very worried to come to the gathering at all, because the grandson may be lost. So I tried to find a same age group, maybe not as grade 6, maybe grade 7, maybe grade 5, around the same age. Whoever came to my home, get them to introduce to each other, find common interests. And I spent at least 5 minutes talking to both people, both these little kids, and trying to get their interests. They didn't like math, and that's a common interest. They liked sports, both of them, different sport, but they liked sport. So that was commonality. They loved Legos, and they had a common movie that they liked that was released recently. So you have a lot of commonality. Now, just use that and get them to become friends. Now, next half an hour goes by, and they will be occupied talking about the movie, talking about the sports they like, talking about how much they hate math, whatever. But they do now become friends, and they don't feel awkward anymore. So you can, I'm just giving you an example. So you can find different ways to connect people so that they can get along. If they're new and they don't know, there are so many different ways to do it. icebreakers are very good. Games are very good. So they cheer up people and they bring people together to network and connect. All right. So going to the next topic, having the conversation a right way. What does that mean? This is, I think, I brought it up because I was seeing this happening a little more frequently in this day and age. When what I mean to say is, when we have to converse with, say, a family member, say there are two kids, two girls, say grade 7 and grade 9, for example, and then they are going to school and they have a thing, and then they have to buy something for a project that they're working on, but forgot about it, and the weekend went by, and come Monday they are having a fit because they forgot to do it and they have a project to deliver. The situation for most part, right? So in that situation, if that person is supposed to be talking to the mom to say what is going on, yeah, you're frustrated. You would have wanted it done earlier. It didn't happen. But the mom is in a situation where the person wants to help, the mom wants to help, but they are trying to understand, asking a bunch of questions, and that is irritating the kid. This is a very common situation happens. The right way to have a conversation is not to yell, not to scream, not to throw things around and pull the hair and jump around, shoot, with the stomping feet all around the house. None of those will explain to the mom what is needed. It is not going to make the situation any better for you. When the situation is kind of gone out of hand, talk to that person. Say, in this case, I would advise, hey, grade 9er, hey, grade 7er, talk to your mom, explain what happened. You say, I completely forgot. It is my fault. It's okay. It's my fault. I'm sorry, I won't do it again. But can you help me now? What can the mom do? When you explain it clearly, the mom may end up calling or writing to the teacher, explaining that something had happened in the family and for what reason the kid was unable to finish, and then ask for extension, and then go help go buy the materials that's needed for the project. So there's so many things that can be done, but there is a lot of frustration and agitation that comes, that we need to understand ourselves, that yeah, it happens, but it's not going to help me if I throw the fit here right now, and have a proper decent conversation to whoever you're talking to. It could be in your school, could be in your community, could be with the family. It happens with very close family members most of the time. But remember that if something has to be fixed and helped, they are the family members who will come to your rescue. And if you are not keeping up with your responsibilities, being nice to them, or you don't have to be nice all the time, but at the same time, you don't have to throw a fit and tantrum all the time either, right? We are growing up and we're not small kids anymore. We're not, we're not grade 2nd or grade 3 anymore. So we want to be growing up a little more responsibly and having the conversation the right way and taking some accountability onto yourself. Yes, I should have done it and I did not. And I'm responsible, I'm accountable, I didn't do. Take accountability. And that's not a bad thing. Taking accountability is a leadership quality too. Okay. The next, let's talk about cleaning up after yourself. A lot of times, it could be within our homes, or it could be somewhere we visit as a guest. If you're given something, or if it is your room and your room is messy for various reasons, it could be clothes lying around, toys lying around, you would have eaten a bunch of things or drank your favorite drink and leave things around. You have to learn to clean up on yourself. What does that do? when you have a messy room or a messy table or a messy something, and you try to do the work, it just adds to the friction, adds to the agitation. It makes it more irritable. Things don't happen easily, smoothly. When you're moving things around, something may fall and it may spill all over the place. When things are clean, there's no, the air is clear, there's no smell or stink, if it is a leftover food from last night. So when things are clear, you can think clearly, you can do things smoothly, and it's more cleanliness too, right? And we just came from COVID for the last 2 years, and I don't even have to explain any more on that. We learned how to clean our hands, sanitize ourselves, clean the areas that we touched so much, and we know what cleanliness would. And if we are not clean, then all those germs, what we will end up being, and we'll have sick days, and we'll have breathing problems and whatnot. So, and also it is respectful when you're visiting somebody as a guest. Clean up after yourself right away. If you're playing with toys and you're done playing, don't leave it there and walk away. Just put them in the proper pile and put them in the box or a basket that the toys came in the first place, and put that nicely, neatly put aside. So the next time your friend who invited you will be very happy to invite you again, because you're not creating a chunk of work for them again and again every time you come over, right? So keep that in mind. Cleanliness is very important. And as we grow, all these little things will add up and makes a better person out of us. It's a personality that we want to develop, right? As we grow. One last thing, never use a foul language. A lot of people use foul language we see that on the TV, on the social media, or outside anywhere. And it's sometimes even becomes, people think it's fancy to use foul language. Foul language is never fancy. Foul language has a negative impact, and it shows more on the person who's saying it as a negative person than the person who is being said to. And it creates a lot of negativity, not just between the person who's saying and the person who's receiving, but it's the whole environment. Whoever is watching say, where did this come from, and what is this about? And then they'll say, oh, I don't want to be friends with this person. What if one day they throw a tantrum on me and use a similar language at me? I don't want to be in this situation, so I don't want to be this person's friend. They will stop inviting you to places or functions, or foul language is a lot of negativity, because when that comes out, right, then when that person has to say that foul language, there's a lot of negativity that gets ejected out in a way. Like it's like a like an explosion, like a fireworks coming out, which is a lot of negativity there, and it comes out. Well, if you have to get your negativity out, there are many things to do. You play a sport, do something energetic that sweats you out. When you sweat out, and when you breathe in a very high fashion way, like breathe very fast and breathe a lot, and you can even do pranayama. All that will cleanse you. Foul language does not cleanse you. It makes you even not so good person. So it's never cool to use foul language. Okay, so very quickly we will talk about how we want to conduct ourselves dealing with people with limiting capabilities, and this does not always have to be a disability of a person. There could be multiple limitations that a person may be going through. I would encourage all of you to go through the document that we shared earlier, because it has a lot of great details. I did a lot of investigation from different sources, some books, to put this together, and I'm passionate about it. but at the same time, I'm not talking about myself, sorry. But at the same time, it is very hard to talk about everything that is written here in the session, but I really want you to get the benefit of knowing what needs to be done, and please go through it. When you are dealing with people with limited capabilities, you first have that mentality of, no matter who this is, no matter what condition this person has, I'm going to be respectful of that person's situation. If you go with that mindset, most of the problems are surprises and should I do, should I not, or all that will be guided by the feeling of respectfulness. If I'm respectful to a person, a lot of things will be guided by that feeling itself. And when you're dealing with somebody, relax. You don't have to get too agitated. Oh, if this person falls, oh, if that happens, or you try to over protect somebody, relax, because they have lived all these days and months and years without you, and you're interacting with them. They probably can handle themselves for the most part. 80% of the time, they're probably using the cane or a walker or a wheelchair, but at the same time, they probably are not as they're probably able to carry themselves okay. So you kind of relax a little, because that agitation can just make that person more uncomfortable in that situation. And how do you deal with visually impaired person? When you're dealing with visually impaired person, you may have somebody who's a translator, but at the same time, you may have the person who is with them. And this can happen with a speech impaired too, or hearing impaired. There could be a translator, but when you're providing an answer, you don't want to be talking just to the translator. You're talking to the person who is really seeking your help. So you can go back and forth and talk, but at the same time, your focus is with the person who you're really helping. So if you're doing volunteering with, say, a person, organization who deals with persons with disabilities, that's a best volunteering opportunity if you want to try to get it. Then you come across a lot of people, the customers who come there, a lot of people with so many different challenges, and dealing with them with empathy, with respect. And don't say people are with crutches and walker or wheelchair, try not to go grab that and try to put it aside, because that they may need to move around, or they even wobbly and they want to balance on it. So don't touch their personal stuff, because that may be the support system they have, without you being asked to do so by them. Give them the space, ask them, can I help you? Don't even ask them, do you need help? Some people are very self-respectful, so they don't like to take help, but at the same time say, can I help you anything at all? Do you want some drink? You want I walk you there, I press some button for you, I open the door for you. What do you want me to do? Just keep that, let them come back to you and say, this is what I need help with. So, and then you can do it exactly that way. Being, when you're talking to somebody, especially with all these visually impaired, hearing impaired, speech impaired, go slow. Don't do a fast talk, because they may not be in a position to grasp everything that's told. One, they could be of a different culture, of a different language background, or a different community. What that means is they may not get your language right away and process it as fast as we talk. So when we are dealing with people with limitations, try to slow down the language you're saying. Say slowly, talk slowly, make eye contact, even if they are not able to see you, they are visually impaired. Just go there, because they would know that, hear from the person, like that if you're standing in front of them, they can hear you well, even if they are unable to see you. If you're talking from there, that person may not be able to hear you well. And if you're, say, for example, a person with hearing impaired, they could be lip readers. So they may be able to see you. If they are able to see you and you're talking slowly, they will make out what you're saying. They may not hear you, but they may make out. They may be smart. Remember that when people have certain limitations, they have other things that will grow, that will be a lot more advanced than we would think for ourselves. So they could be having other stronger capabilities that we are not aware of. I used to, when I started to work, I used to work very close to a speech and hearing impaired school, a school that was run for those kind of kids. And I used to take the bus together to go and back and forth. And that it was not a school bus, but it was a bus, a regular transportation. And a lot of kids used to take that bus too. The good thing is, I used to be surrounded by these kids and I would see them. If I'm speaking to a friend as the way I am, I would be sitting next to the person or standing across and talking to them. But these kids, they use sign language. This person is in the front of the bus and the other kid is in the back of the bus, and they are exchanging things and they're talking. They're discussing their project. They're discussing what they learned. They're discussing homework. I couldn't do that. I can't even understand. And those are some really good capabilities that people with limitation will have other amazing capabilities. And do always remember that. There are a lot of things that we can learn from any situation, and there is no something bad about anything, right? So there is always look for opportunities to learn, look for opportunities to appreciate, look for opportunities where you may enhance yourself as a person, as a personality, also by all these situations. And it's not always what it looks like. It may be a lot more, and it may be a lot more fulfilling for you as a person. So I want to thank you for your time, and hopefully we learned something together today. Thank you. Over to you, Nanda.
Okay, that was, I think, very helpful. Again, one more presentation in a different way, which is very important for practices of our daily life, improvising our character traits and polishing our nature, very own nature, how we present ourselves in the society, with people around, in the family and in the neighborhood and in the community and at work or at the study area, everywhere for the matter. And then to impress and also show how we can impress others or inspire others with our good qualities. So hope you all youth could make use of this and could take some benefits. And moving to the next part now, we will be dealing with, because all of you from morning, I believe you have had a little bit of breakfast to eat. You all are fresh now, but you have not been given any chance to speak so far. So time to unmute, time to talk, and the time where we keep quiet and listen to you all, because we have received very large number of impressive submissions, I must say, because the case studies were shared with you, if you remember, the day before the session started. And to our surprise, there were a lot of submissions right after the post, right after the email was sent out. Until today, it's been just coming in large numbers we have been receiving. So what I will do now is to call out the names, in alphabetical order, which makes it easier. And even apart of that, if at all anybody's name is missed out, after all are done, please unmute yourself and say that you have submitted, but you have not been called yet. Okay, it's all okay. And this is with regard to the case studies, which are on the topic of, there were three, if you remember: etiquette and good manners. The second one was on how we reduce carbon footprint with the given link to calculate your own carbon footprint. Everybody will have a little bit of difference the way you answer the questionnaire if you have tried so. And the third is about festivals. Festivals we shall consider as a segment little later. In between, we can give you a break, which is also much needed. So what we're going to do is call out the names of this youth that has submitted etiquettes or the carbon footprint presentations. You all are given a chance to speak. Everybody has chosen their own way. Some have picked two, some have picked only one, some have picked all the three. So you'll get to speak. Starting with Abhigna. So you can talk what you have written on etiquettes and carbon footprint. Festivals, as I said, so everybody keep in mind, this segment we will discuss as a separate thing after the break. Okay, so here we go. Abhigna, would you please unmute?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, what I wrote for etiquette and good manners was being polite to others and guests, saying please and thank you, not speaking when you have food in your mouth or when you're eating, being kind to others, using proper table manners when you're eating with your family or your friends, using appropriate words and asking before borrowing or taking things, and tidying up after yourself.
Okay, that was wonderful. Panaga, as I think you can just scroll up, she will be starting with carbon footprint as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, as they speak. Yeah, if we could scroll up. Be respectful to others. Yes, Abhigna, now you can go ahead with the carbon footprint. Okay.
Sorry, Abhigna, give me 1 sec, okay?
Yeah, it takes time because it will be different files. So do bear with us, but we will just allow you. It's just a coordination between you when you speak and the movement of the slides. So please bear with us.
Go ahead, Abhigna.
Yeah, once.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, she's supposed to talk on carbon footprint. Etiquette is
Okay.
done.
Yeah.
Very nice. Well done, Abhigna.
Go ahead,
Okay.
Abhigna.
Okay.
Okay, so after using the carbon footprint calculator, I noted how my annual carbon footprint is 35.98 tons. This is actually like a really big number, and it puts me in the top number 1% of the world. So then after reading the information, I thought it'd be good for me to start living a more green life. So some techniques, inventions, and daily practices that I could implement to reduce my carbon footprint are to switch off the appliances after I'm done using them, conserve water in like many different ways, convert to eco-friendly resources, and when doing laundry, make sure to use cold water instead of hot water, walk or bike as much as possible, and fly less, like try to cut down your vacations and stuff like that, eat less dairy and try not to waste, and get involved with the community and volunteer with an environmental organization so that I can reduce my carbon footprint.
Okay.
Awesome, Abhigna. There are some measures which you can really implement right today itself, right? Okay, that's a nice, wonderful presentation. And I can see that carbon footprint calculator is giving very high value. So we all are at that point now, using a lot of fuels and contributing to high footprint. Our next speaker, thank you, Abhigna. And the next speaker will be Aditya Kumar. on etiquette first and then carbon footprint. Aditya Kumar, are you here?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I've
okay.
actually written my stuff on a book, so is it okay if I read it?
Yep.
No problem. The slides will be shown. No problem. You can start talking, okay?
Okay, so number one, I use words like please and thank you. I don't use foul language. I let others finish before I speak. I respect mine and others' property. I clean up a mess I made. I help others. I consider others' privacy. I return things I borrowed from others. And if you have to encounter someone with limited abilities, how do you feel? I feel like I should cheer him, her up so they forget how it feels to feel disabled. I feel lucky to be a normal person. I feel guilty. Some can't enjoy specific moments. I would ask them how their day was. I would kindly start a conversation, cheer them up if possible, try and give them a hug, high five, or fist bump. Okay, so for my case study, I've actually categorized what daily routines we can do to minimize our carbon footprint. So I categorize them into food, clothing, transportation, and water. For food, if you're non-vegetarian, limit your meat consumption. Bring reusable shopping bags and avoid product with plastic packaging. Make sure to buy only what you need to avoid waste. Eat more plant food and less animal food. This also applies if you're non-vegetarian. Compost your food waste if possible. Consume local and seasonal food. For example, don't have an ice cream in winter or don't have hot cocoa in summer. Clothing. Take good care of your clothes. Recycle your old clothes. Shop at secondhand stores if you can. Only shop for things you need. Buy fair trade clothing. Only buy items which you will use. For transportation, try carpooling or using public transport to reduce carbon dioxide in the air. Try your best to buy an electric vehicle. Check your tire pressure. Spend more weekends traveling close by. Try your best to stay in an environmentally friendly hotel if you travel. Pack your own reusable items. And for water, take shorter showers, use less hot water, and use a reusable water bottle. Thank you.
Excellent, Adi. Reusable water bottle. And then one thing when you spoke about the disabled, how they feel, to make them feel feeling disabled. So that is important. So if they are disabled, you cannot avoid that, but you know how you deal with them, that is important. And it goes very well with the presentation just now we had from Panagan. Did you happen to calculate carbon footprint? Because I didn't see you say the value. If not, it's fine. So it's my observation. Okay. So never mind
Actually,
if you
I
haven't.
did. Yeah,
You did?
actually, I
Okay.
did. Yeah, but
Okay.
I forgot to write it down.
It's okay. It's okay. Totally okay. Wonderful presentation. Thanks for
Thank
that.
you. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Ananya Pai.
Ananya has festivals.
Only? Yes. Okay. Sorry. Ananya has only festivals, which we will consider later in the festival segment. Okay. Moving ahead. We will go for Anirudh Gorur on etiquette and on both reducing of carbon footprint he has presented. So Anirudh Gorur, are you here? Not sure. Anirudh is not responding. I thought he's here. So let's go
I
to...
did see him. He was there. Maybe.
Okay.
Not sure. Let me check.
Okay. In the meantime,
While you check, in the meantime, we can go to the
go
next
ahead,
and I can get back to Anirudh, calling him back again. So Arangan, can you unmute and start talking?
Okay. The etiquette and good manners that I follow is number one, I make sure to say thank you and acknowledge and appreciate someone who has helped me because they didn't necessarily have to, but they went out of their way to help me. So I think that I should at least acknowledge them. I use polite language when talking to people, so I don't use foul language. And I talk in a respectful tone. And 3, I hold the door for people when they're entering or leaving a place, because I think it's just like a simple gesture that kind of shows that you like care. Um, uh, 4, I like to help people in school if they don't understand or need help with work, so that they can succeed too. And like everyone can use help sometimes, so it's good to just help them if they have a small problem. I listen to people fully before responding, and like I listen attentively. If I see someone in need of help, like anywhere, I offer to help them, even if they don't take the offer. It's always good to just offer just in case. And me and my family always let our guests start eating before us and offer them food and water, especially water as soon as they come in before we indulge in those things. And I try to give people compliments that are genuine to cheer them up if they're feeling bad sometimes.
Okay, wow.
Oh, sorry. Not sure, but okay, thank you.
My carbon footprint. So I checked with the website, and it said my carbon footprint was 12.96 tons, and I don't think this was accurate because that's about 275% more than average. And I tried with like to pick all like the energy efficient answers and stuff, and it still gave me like around 10 tons. So it gave me 12.96 tons. But the ways I could reduce this carbon footprint is to, as soon as I leave a room or I'm done using appliances, I can unplug them and turn them off, which I feel like I forget to do. I can try to use energy efficient alternatives to everyday things such as carpools and ride shares, or like biking and walking and for short distances instead of having to take a car. I can try to spend less money on unnecessary things, like things that don't necessarily help me and I won't really use. And they're not needs, they're more of wants. And I could become vegetarian or vegan. That may be a big step though, and I think that's more of a long-term goal. So for now, I could start to eat less meat, and I can limit my meat consumption just to help the environment. And I can also make sure to properly dispose of garbage, recycling, and compost, putting them in the right bins so that they don't end up in landfills all the time. I can substitute the plastic objects I use with environmentally friendly versions. Uh, so like plastic spoons, forks, I can use silverware or like the types of ones that are compostable. And also I can pick up trash and dispose of it correctly if it's just lying around in like the neighborhood, just to help out. Thank you.
That was great, Arangan, and I thank you really for taking time to make the slideshow. You prepared slides very well, and good. You're better than me in the carbon footprint value, though it is also coming under the high value of 12.6 tons. And the point that you mentioned, picking up trash, which is a social responsibility actually. And if you don't mind and then pick up the trash, regardless you throw it or somebody else, that's a good nature too. Okay, thanks on that. Is Anirudh back?
No, I don't see him, Nanda. Maybe he'll join later, I guess.
Okay, so whose is this now? Next is Arjun.
Arjun.
Okay. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. A few of the good manners and etiquette that my family and I follow include showing respect to others, whether it's our friends or elders, and treating them kindly. When speaking to someone, I pay my full attention to them without any distractions from my phone or from other people. And as an avid soccer fan and player, I feel that sportsmanship is an important and major part of the sport, and that all players must show respect to the opponent, the referees, and teammates. A routine that I've followed since a young age is making sure that my room is organized and clean. As soon as I wake up, I verify that my bed is made, books are arranged, and my desk is neat and uncluttered. And as a host and guest, I always ensure that I inquire about my friends and their interests, rather than keeping quiet. In addition, as a host, I offer refreshments and try to make the guest feel comfortable. Furthermore, I ask permission before touching or taking things, and I approach conversations with a friendly attitude, guaranteeing that my friends speak without interruption. When encountering someone with limiting abilities, I speak to them carefully and slowly while trying to offer help if they require assistance rather than patronizing or avoiding them. If they're visually impaired, I communicate through touch and voice, and if the person has a hearing or speech impairment, I use gestures, body language, writing, or sign language. I speak respectfully and kindly as I provide personal space instead of mocking them. And furthermore, I pay my full attention to the disabled person and confirm that I have their full attention before speaking.
Wonderful. I like the way you said about the team, soccer team, or regardless, like any sports team, how you have to give respect to the referee, especially. So many times we have seen clashes over the when we were watching the direct shows of the matches, right? So that's good. Good points. Thank you.
My answers in the carbon footprint survey determined that my annual carbon footprint is 18.47 tons, placing me in the top 6% of the world. If everyone lived like me, we would require 3.7 Earths. To offset my carbon footprint, I would have to plant 204 trees each year. Now, I've created a list of practices that will reduce my carbon footprint, which is a combination of habits that I'm already practicing and ones that I could implement in the future. So, consuming locally produced and homegrown foods, it will not only eliminate the pollution and costs that come from shipping these products, but it will also help local businesses, and we can develop a new hobby. Bringing reusable shopping bags and avoiding products with excessive plastic packaging will reduce the use of plastics. In an initiative to lessen plastics use, many businesses charge you for plastic bags. So bringing reusable bags will help the environment as well as decrease your grocery bills. Make sure to buy what you need to avoid waste. And when clothes do not fit you anymore, you should donate them rather than throwing them out. When possible, I use bikes or public transport. Biking maintains your physical health and does not release carbon emissions like cars. And I'm sure many people already do this, but turning off your water while you brush your teeth and switching off the lights when you leave a room will significantly help. Unplugging your electronic equipment and not leaving your phone on charge when the battery is already full can also be a major change. Lastly, washing your clothes using the cold water setting in your washing machine. According to cleaninginstitute.org, I was doing some research on this, but about 90% of the energy used by washing machines during laundry goes towards the heat. Utilizing cold water minimizes both the amount of energy and the hot water used.
It's
Thank you,
amazing.
Arjun. Yes, Panaga. Yeah, the washing machine aspect and the website, yeah, that is a useful point. And just the one before that you spoke, I just don't remember right now. That was also a good point. Could you say what was that, Arjun? With regard
Sorry,
to
the
carbon
last point?
The last but one.
Oh, unplugging your electronic equipment and not
Exactly.
leaving your
Yes,
phone.
yes. Thank you for reminding me. That is a good point because most of us end up, leaving the plug there while charging our phones. It is actually a point to be noted. The chargers still flow. So it's a good
Correct.
thing to unplug it. So it increases the life of the charger as well. Okay.
And
Next.
another thing, Nanda, just to
Yeah.
add to what Arjun mentioned, that I also read in a book that we've seen a big difference at home is also to avoid using the heat dry in the dishwasher mode. Just a small, that makes a big difference in terms of energy consumption. And I think in the normal mode, it gets dried, but the heat dry doesn't make any huge difference, but it does save a lot of difference in terms of energy.
Right, the dishwasher in the kitchen as well. Yeah, yes, good point. Thanks, Pratibha. So our next speaker will be Ayush, and followed by him will be Haripriya, just to make others ready. And then following Haripriya will be Lakshmi Shriram. Okay, so Ayush.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes, Ayush.
Okay. Wait, hold up. So, for my carbon footprint, I forgot to add my tons, but according to the website, my annual carbon footprint is 27.41 tons. So below are some techniques, inventions, and daily practices to reduce my carbon footprint. So number one is not using plastic materials and instead using materials made out of metal. Not using any devices such as my phone, laptop, etc. for a long period of time to save electricity. And then an invention that I would make or someone else would what I would make is making a device that makes the environment fresh by eliminating local pollution and producing fresh and clean air. Then buying groceries that are only needed in order to prevent wasting food and using reusable shopping bags to avoid using plastic bags.
Very nice. Very well written. Okay, Ayush. Carbon, I think you have worked on that as well. Yes. And then etiquette, yes.
Okay. So number one is I pray after showering. Number two is saying thank you when someone hands me something. And then number three is helping the people in need. Then saying sorry if accidentally hurting someone. Being kind to everyone. Saying please and thank you. Saying pardon when you can't hear someone, and not saying bad words. And
Nice.
number one for helping them when they are in need, and then comforting them. Number three is being respectful and kind, and providing them with things that they need, entertaining them, treating them how you want to be treated, giving them personal space, and listening to them with patience.
Thank you so much, Ayush. This is a nice point. You entertain them, you take time and patience to entertain. That's something, the goodness of you from your side is seen. Very, very well written. Okay, thank you.
Thank
you. Aditya Pai. Are you here?
Yeah.
That looks like a nice chart. Yes, Aditya, please go ahead.
Aditya, we can't hear you.
Please unmute in case you haven't, and then raise the volume as well. Or if you can come closer.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah. Thank you.
So the problem is there's too many carbon emissions created by our daily living habits. When I used the calculator, I saw that I emit 26 tons a year, or I was in the top 3%, I think. So this is a big issue. So why should we care? These unsustainable practices affect us pretty badly. The ozone layer being partially destroyed has led to a lot of cancer. Water being dried up kills many people, and it will also affect our future generations even more harshly. And the consequences of our actions will obviously be ocean and water levels rising, coastal cities flooding permanently, the temperature will go up, and many people and species will die. There are also a lot of species that are known that will go extinct. And water will dry up, fresh, clean drinking water, and it'll worsen the drinking water problem. Oh, I think you just scroll down.
Yeah.
Yeah. So how can you reduce your carbon footprint? So you can close lights in unoccupied rooms, close the tap when you're not immediately using it. Try to use greener methods of transportation like public transport, bicycling, and public transport is pretty wide, but it includes things like buses and subways and all that kind of stuff. You can invest in an eco toilet. So one with an efficient flush, so you don't waste as much water. You can only purchase what you need. You can utilize reusable bags when shopping, so none of the plastic bag stuff. You can cut down on meat consumption, especially beef. It takes a surprisingly large amount of water to grow just one cow. And you can buy local whenever possible. Also, you can invest in an electric vehicle. So some challenges. The first one is recognition. You need to recognize the issue, find draining appliances. Are you keeping taps open for too long? Are you using the good flush? Are you turning lights off? Then the second challenge is action. So you want to respond properly by changing your habits and actively seeking out changes you can make to lessen your carbon footprint. And finally, you can invest. So this is the all-in step. You invest in eco, you buy efficient appliances, you purchase an electric vehicle if you need to purchase a car, and you buy smart lights. Anything that can really reduce your emissions will go. So they're not only eco-friendly, there's also the upside that they will save you money in the long run. And I think that's it. And yeah, the last thing is action as well with awareness. Not only should you be actively aware of your carbon habits, you should also fight for corporations to pay for their carbon emissions and reduce them as well. The major corporations are actually 70% of all carbon emissions. So yeah.
Awesome. The topic of eco toilet and smart lights is a new point. That is a new addition. I'm observing that as we go through the different presentations, each of you have something new to say. That's really wonderful. Thanks, Aditya. And fighting for corporations, that's again another big action, big responsibility. Hope you will be able to do that. Thank you. Now going to etiquette.
Okay, so the good manners I follow, of course. So, touching elders' feet, greeting people respectfully when meeting them, holding the door open for others, getting water for guests who may need it, saying please and thank you, and other such like, saying kind things for requests and stuff like that. Making small talk and really engaging guests in conversation, and doesn't have to be just guests, but anyone with full attention. And making sure that you like acknowledge them, apologizing whenever you make a mistake, and making eye contact and speaking to people. And so if for the disability one, you try to avoid the topic of their disability in a negative light. It's fine to bring it up, but avoiding it in a way which would like, kind of hurt them. Then there's some more on the bottom. Yeah. So you make sure they're comfortable, you provide them with facilities for their disability, ensure they are in a safe environment by, again, this ties in with the first point, making sure that you don't bring it up too much, help them navigate through areas they may have issues in, like stairs and stuff like that. Give them priority for vehicle and travel arrangements, make sure they're receiving seating or food first, and also try and empower them through other means, like conversation about their skills or other things they've achieved and stuff like that.
Thank you, Aditya. Not to make them feel condescending, but in a way to empower them. That is a very nice word used here. So, Aditya, thanks for your.
Yeah. And I also have the festivals one.
We'll come back to the festival.
Yeah. Okay.
Haripriya.
Priya. Sorry.
Go ahead, Haripriya.
Yeah.
Okay,
Haripriya, ready?
Yes, we can hear you, Haripriya.
Okay.
Next one.
So these are some of the etiquettes and good manners that I follow. So I use polite and pleasant vocabulary, like words please and thank you, and like when I'm meeting someone, talking to them in a pleasant tone and letting them know that I'm willing to talk to them and not sounding unwilling. I never interrupt others, and I always wait till they finish before I begin talking. I always ask for permission before touching other people's belongings. I always receive guests with a smiling face and make them feel welcome. Um, and I always remove my footwear and wash both my hands and feet immediately after entering my house, which is not only like a one of like good manners, but it's also like very hygienic. I smile at everyone I meet and regularly compliment and appreciate others. And I feel like that's one of my best good manners, because often people forget to compliment and appreciate other people. And it always helps. I always ask others questions during conversations and help others feel willing to socialize freely. And I treat elders with special respect, like touching their feet when I meet them. And when I meet someone with limiting abilities, I don't pity them, but instead I respect their resilience. And I think that's really important, because nobody wants to be pitied, especially when they're going through a lot and like they need respect more than they need pity. And I need to be aware of their personal space. And I also check accessibility when I'm meeting up, like like physically. Like I can't meet up in the 10th floor of an apartment building which doesn't have a lift if I'm meeting up someone with a wheelchair. I speak directly to the person with clarity, and I provide them with equal opportunities. Like this is more of a goal. If I grow up to be an employer or something, I can't just say, oh, I'm not going to employ this person because of some sort of disability. And I also make my home or workspace or school area suitable with accessibility. Even if I can't control all of it, I can still make suggestions to my school principal or something like that. And I use appropriate, polite, and considerate vocabulary, never use offensive words or phrases, and make sure to get their permission before helping them.
Great. So as an employer, we can see what wonders you can create actually in the workplace. Thanks. And the carbon footprint case study.
You've written quite a few.
Oh,
Did you?
yeah, I think.
Do I have to scroll down?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is the one. Yes.
Okay.
She has gone with the calculation and the objective according to the way the case study question was given, right, Haripriya? Yeah.
Yeah.
This is the objective. Okay.
So
you can scroll a little up.
Yeah.
Scroll a little up.
Down actually. No, I think you need to scroll it a little down.
Okay. Tell me when to stop.
A more down?
Yeah, even down. Yeah. From the point 1. Yeah. Perfect.
So I found out that my annual carbon footprint is 16.57 tons, and I'm in the top 8% of the world. So, and to offset my carbon footprint, I need to plant 180 trees each year, and we need 3.3 Earths if everyone lived like me. So I chose these steps to reduce my carbon footprint, and that's saving electricity, and especially by unplugging devices and appliances, because that's something I don't necessarily do. And that's a huge reason for how I like waste electricity, and reduce water waste, like when I'm brushing my teeth or washing my face, and stop consumption of single-use plastic. So that doesn't mean I have to stop it entirely. I could reduce it or buy recyclable plastic or use cardboard bags instead. And number 4. Oh, I think this I changed it, but okay. So number 4 is walk and bike more or use public transit instead of driving. Number 5 is all that step is pretty hard because I'm in Canada, and in the winter it's not really possible to walk all the way to school, but it is something I can try during the summer. Number 5, volunteer to help collect litter in my community. Or it doesn't even have to be collecting trash. It could be cleaning the area at the SVBF temple, or helping the guttering program. Start campaigns to raise awareness about the harm we do to our environment, and like encourage people to, I don't know, like eat less meat or be more eco-friendly. Start using energy efficient appliances and vehicles. So that's not something I can do right now, but I can encourage my parents to buy some and like invest in energy efficient appliances, and creatively reuse disposable items. So these 2 examples are something I've done in the past. I made mosaic art with milk carton lids and plastic bottle lids, and I made a toy guitar for my brother with a plastic box and some elastic bands as well.
That is really interesting. Oh, I wish we could have a glimpse of, pictures of those articles that you made, toy guitar and everything. You have really implemented, recycling, reducing, carbon footprint, really in the daily life as well. So thanks, Haripriya. That was awesome. Next
Give me
will
1 sec. I
be,
will. Yeah.
I think next is
We have
Lakshmi. Actually, I think I called out her name already.
Yeah,
If she's ready, yeah. Is this Lakshmi?
Yeah, Lakshmi, go ahead.
Lakshmi, you can go ahead. Yeah. With the carbon footprint case study.
Lakshmi, we can't hear you. Something to do with the audio?
Yeah. Still can't hear.
You want to select a different microphone under the drop-down list near the mute button, Lakshmi.
Or you can get back. We'll give you a
Yeah.
time. You don't be pressurized or stressed because everyone is waiting for you. You can just get back. Is Anirudh back here? Anirudh Guru? Okay, so Lakshmi, take your time. We can skip now. So we can go ahead to
Type on
Manish.
chat when you're ready. Lakshmi.
Yes. Manish, if you're
Yeah.
ready. Yeah, okay. Good.
Okay.
Please go ahead.
The first thing I did is respect, because that should be the most of all. You should respect older people, younger people. You should respect everyone you're talking to. And you should also bend down before elders, like who are older than you. And you should touch their legs as like a traditional way. And that's like manners in a religion. And you should also say thank you and please. And you should usually eat with your right hand only. And you should also give a people greeting if they greet you, and you should greet them even if they don't, to start a conversation. And you shouldn't complain or criticize, and you should always cover your mouth when you cough or sneeze. And if I ever happen to encounter like someone with limiting abilities, I would open the door for them, teach them new things that they don't know. I would donate, and I also would stand up for them if they're getting bullied, and treat them as what you want to be treated, nicely. And I would talk to them, because a lot of people these days don't think disability people are like that good of a person, but you should talk to them and make them your friends so they don't feel left out. You should always be polite to them. Yeah, that's it. And my carbon.
Good one, Manish. Thank you. Good points. Okay.
Can you refresh? That was actually like from a long time. Just refresh. Sorry.
Maybe I made a copy of what you provided earlier. That's fine. Manish, you can read what you have, the latest.
Yeah.
Okay. My carbon footprint was 17.78 tons, which is around like the top 5 to 10%, which is a kind of a bad sign, and I should try to reduce it by doing the steps below. If everyone lived like me, we'd need 3.4 Earths. Wow. Some things that you should do to reduce your carbon footprint include: don't forget to unplug your chargers or any type of plugs that can go into the plug thing, because the energy still flows. You should drive electric cars since it's better for the environment, and you shouldn't try to take private jets because they waste a lot of gas and they're bad for the environment. And you should also get solar lights because they could save energy. And you shouldn't eat beef or dairy or any kind of meat or dairy products. And you should always reuse, and you shouldn't waste that much water, which is like mostly taught in our school. And you should take less showers, and also while taking showers you should use cool water since it saves money, and it's also good for the environment, and it's also refreshing for you. And you should carpool and only shop for things you need, and always you shouldn't waste food, and you should volunteer in things which will which you'll get to know of about like more stuff like carbon footprint and other things about the environment. And yeah, that's it.
Thank you, Manish. Not to waste food is a good point again. Yeah. Thank you. Nayana, followed by, if Lakshmi is ready, please let us know when you're ready. Nayana, followed by Rohan. Sorry, not Rohan, Rohit. Rohit Ambati. Okay, so be ready, Rohit. Nayana, are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. So some of the etiquette and good manners I follow are hearing out people's opinions and considering their input, because everybody's opinions are valid and there's no reason to leave them feel like felt out. And holding open doors or leaving a previous environment more accessible and convenient for the next person. So this could also apply to someone who does have a disability. Using greetings and terms including please and excuse me. And I'd say this also includes like asking for pronouns, because that's something that we're learning to do more of now. And following rules and expectations in a given space. Respecting other people's boundaries and preferences, so not pushing them when they feel uncomfortable. Offering guests drink and water is something I've grown up doing. Always telling the truth no matter the situation, and accepting responsibility is always a kind thing to do no matter the situation or how embarrassed you may feel about what you've done. Should we scroll down a bit? And expressing gratitude to those who help you out no matter how small the action is always a nice thing to do. And when I encounter someone with limiting abilities, I always give them the right of way. Helping them out in a difficult situation where their disability may not be considered is also something I try to do. And I always like to be attentive to their needs. And a big thing is also avoiding judgment of their disability and also defending them from others who may be rude, because that's a situation where they might not be ready to step up and defend themselves. I also like to avoid patronization or making the person feel like they're lesser because of their disability. And this also means treating them no different in comparisons to the others around. And I also like to be patient with them and respect their privacy in asking questions that may be uncomfortable to them.
Okay, very nice. Avoid being judgmental, right? That's a very good point. Thanks, Nayana. And going to the second case, carbon footprint. Okay.
So I got 11.75 tons for my carbon footprint. And some ways I can do my part to reduce this is, it's on the next slide. So I can grow more in home gardens, and walking and taking the bus more often rather than driving can reduce my carbon footprint as well. and also keeping my environment clean, whether it's just within my own living space or outside of my direct living space. So the area around my home. And you can also switch to more sustainable fashion as an alternative to fast fashion, and also focusing on like needs versus wants. So not spending on things that I necessarily may not need, because that's just contributing to my carbon footprint.
Great.
Great. Good points. Well done. Lakshmi, if you can speak, if you have fixed your mic, let us hear you. If you're okay to talk, let us hear you. If your voice is heard, then you can go ahead. Otherwise, I will have to call Rohan. Is this Rohan Spandana?
Yeah, this is Rohan.
This is Rohan. So Lakshmi, do write to us so that we understand that you're all ready. But take your time. Rohan, if you're ready to go ahead, please. Followed by Rohit.
Are you there, Rohan?
Are you there, Rohan? Rohan
I
P?
don't see Rohan.
It could be in another name. Sometimes they log
Yeah,
in
maybe
with. That's
parents.
why it's a
Yeah.
little bit confusing. Some are have logged in using their dad's computer or mom's, so it's fine. Otherwise,
Rohan, if you're there.
can you unmute Rohan? Otherwise, we'll let Rohit speak. And what we can do at the end is those who are unable to speak for some reason or not here, we can just scroll down slowly as we can read. Because they have taken the pain to submit the presentation. So we can do that at the end maybe. What do you say, Panaga? If
Yeah,
time
I agree
permits.
with that.
If
Yeah,
time
sounds good.
permits. Rohit Ambati, if you're ready, please unmute and start giving your presentations.
May you please scroll
Yes,
down?
Lakshmi. Yes, Lakshmi, you can go ahead doing that.
A manner I follow is maintaining eye contact while having a conversation, sitting upright in classroom while doing work, eat while I eat and talk while I talk. I listen to somebody while if somebody was talking, I would listen to them. If I were to sneeze or cough, I would cover my nose and mouth. I would respect others' personal space. I pay attention when someone is talking or etc. I respect any house guests. Something I could do is help them move around. Do something for them that they cannot. Help them get up if they were sitting. Help them move around in a wheelchair. I could help them get up if they fell down. I could hold a door for them if they were having trouble opening it or holding it. I could make them laugh if they were going through something. I could help them get over something if they were feeling down.
Thank you. You can make somebody laugh. That's a good quality. Not everybody is capable enough to do that. Nice.
Reducing our carbon footprint. My carbon footprint was 40.43 tons, which is not very good, but some of the things are not accurate on my part of the survey. Ways that you could reduce your carbon footprint is by planting trees, eating seasonal foods, and eating less meat, especially beef. Ways that I could reduce my carbon footprint. In my case, since my carbon footprint is 4.43 tons, and if everyone had this kind of impact, we would need 8.1 Earth's worth of 8.1 Earth worth of resources. But if I wanted to reduce mine, I would need to plant 432 trees. But since I'm vegetarian, I would need to consume meat. But I would need to eat more foods that would be best in a specific season.
Excellent. Thank you, Rohit. High carbon footprint, but good steps.
Is Lakshmi ready?
Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can.
Oh, awesome, Lakshmi. You're back. Okay, good. So please go ahead.
Okay, so I did the carbon footprint calculator and my carbon footprint is 38.55 tons. So I've categorized it on small ideas and big ideas. So my small ideas are just walk and bike to local places instead of taking the car everywhere you go. Shop locally and buy things that are in season. Carpool with someone when you're going to a common place. Try using appliances less by by hand washing clothes and drying them outside. Use washer and dryer when necessary on off-peak hours. Plant trees and take showers instead of baths. And also on that note, take shorter showers and recycle your clothes or donate them instead of throwing them out because there's someone out there that might need to use them. And my big ideas are upgrade to solar energy or really just any energy that is sustainable and renewable. And then get energy efficient appliances, reduce the number of flights you take every year, or drive to places that can be driven to. Example, the United States of America. So if you're going to Michigan, it's really not that far, so you can just drive there. And we should grow our own produce, like start as a little small garden with a few vegetables, and you can slowly expand and plant more vegetables. And when the car is due for an upgrade, switch to electric.
Good job. Hand washing, drying them outside, using solar panels at home, which many people are doing these days. Good points. That's a new thing, solar energy usage. Thank you, Lakshmi. And next is Samit. Yes, Samit, if you're ready.
Can I do the etiquette talk first?
Etiquette? Okay.
Okay, no worries.
Thank you.
All right.
I kind of merged some just regular housekeeping chores into the etiquette, but some etiquette I do includes doing the laundry, hanging clothes, cleaning the dishes and loading the dishwasher, thinking before speaking, eating food with your mouth closed, keeping the house clean, brushing your teeth before and after going to bed, not wasting food and not littering. If I happen to encounter someone with limiting abilities, some helpful steps I would use to likely assist them with a disability would be not putting them down for the disability, not having lower expectations of them because of their disability, not stereotyping them based on other disabilities, and something related to the third one, not treating them as if all disabilities are the same, because there's difference between mental and physical disabilities, and there's different types of mental and physical disabilities.
Thank you, Samit. Talking about the fourth point, eating food with your mouth closed, I understand that as not opening the mouth. You have to open the mouth to eat, so not opening, making loud, noises, making others feel, very irritated or disgusting, right? So I believe that is the way that you wanted to make us understand.
Yes,
Keeping mouth closed. Yeah, thanks.
Yeah. Can I have my presentation now?
Yeah, on carbon footprint. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's a nice slide.
Can you go to the first slide?
First slide. First slide. Okay, good.
Climate change is getting scary. People are losing their homes to global warming, including natural disasters, and entire cities are going underwater. The world needs to green up, and in this presentation, I'll be addressing some ways this can happen. Next slide, please. Since the linked carbon footprint calculator is pretty outdated, to say the least, not that any carbon footprint calculator is 100% accurate, I used footprintcalculator.org to calculate my carbon footprint and got the result of 1.9 Earths. This means that if everyone on the planet had the same lifestyle as me, we'd need 1.9 Earths. Better than most, but still bad. If you're wondering, I use this website rather than other ones because it uses much more relevant factors. By 2050, 70 to 80% of the world is expected to be living in the urbanized. Wait, no, sorry. Go to the next slide, please. Yeah, thank you. By 2050, 70 to 80% of the world is expected to be living in an urbanized area. This can lead to a lack of resources to use internationally. To solve this, cities must use smart strategies to conserve resources with urban planning and development. Next slide, please. Renewable energy is another plausible solution. For an energy source to be renewable, it means that it must come from a source that will never run out. Some renewable energy sources must include hydroelectricity, wind energy, solar energy, and geothermal energy. Unlike fossil fuels and nuclear energy sources, these forms of energy are replenishable and better for the environment. Using renewable energy can be a way to green up your lifestyle. Next slide, please. Next slide, please. The two, yeah. The two best food-related ways to live more eco-friendly is to A, go on a vegetarian/vegan diet, since dairy and meat production causes a lot of greenhouse gas emissions, either from the production or the methane emitted from the animals. Or B, waste less food. This is because rotten food in the environment can also release a lot of greenhouse gases into the atmosphere. Next slide. Thank you. The most essential part of becoming more eco-friendly and aware is protecting our planet. For a healthy environment, we must protect and replenish our world's ecosystems. Alongside the benefits of a healthy planet, it's also just a good Samaritan thing to do. Next slide. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Samit. That was wonderful. The presentation looks so neat, and the diagrams that were used, like the two, three-dimensional pictures, also were very complimenting with your presentation. Would you mind telling us? It was 1.9 Earths. So, what was your carbon footprint value,
I'm not
if
sure.
you remember?
I'm gonna try.
Oh, that's okay. That's okay. If you remember only. Okay. So next is I think Utpala. I'm not sure. Utpala, Uttara. I'm just going in an alphabetical order.
Yeah.
Pratibha, can you spot if Anirudh Goror is back? I don't think so. I'm not able to.
Let me check.
Yeah, you can
Meanwhile,
check, and
I will spotlight
Nanda.
Uttara.
Yes.
Get Uttara to start.
Yeah. Uttara, Utpala, and Yash, Poojar and Yash Dalman. 4 people are there now. If we are going ahead,
Can we?
I think.
Yeah,
can we do that after?
Sorry, Nanda. Can we have one topic? I know we are going over time now.
Yes, because we have to give break to.
Yeah, can we give one topic for each kid? Is that okay? And you guys can get to pick the topic that you want to talk.
Okay, that's also fine.
Yeah, I can do this one.
This is good? Okay.
Yes, I can do this one for the case study etiquette and good manners. So my family and I, we leave our slippers and shoes or footwear outside the house or inside at the entrance. It signifies that we leave negativities, dirt or dust outside, and our house is filled with positivity. We also light the lamp before sunrise and before sunset. This is to welcome Goddess Lakshmi. This is because we believe gods and goddesses shouldn't be left in the dark. And also fire purifies everything around us. We also have a rule that we don't allow phones in the dinner table. So pretty much self-explanatory, so that we can have a family conversation without being distracted by electronics or gadgets. And respecting your elders, your method of greeting, sitting, and pretty much talking and behaving. And then finally, ways to assist someone with disabilities. Having a positive attitude, not gawking at them or like making fun of them. Being aware of personal space, asking before you help, not just assuming that they need help, and ensuring a clear communication.
Awesome. I like this slide, which says a lot. The pictures say a lot. And just showing the carbon footprint slide, would it take time? Just showing if you don't speak, because you have made the slides show. So, oh, this is festivals, I think. Wow. Okay. Maybe because she has created a special slide. Okay, nice. This diagram looks good. 15 tons. Dishwasher sort out. Mini vegetable. Turn off the lights. Beautiful.
Good
Okay.
job. Thank you for that.
Good job. Sorry that we couldn't allow you to explain on that, but we could see your slides well made. Okay. Next will be
Uttara, hi.
Uttara. Okay. Hi, Uttara. Okay.
Can I present my carbon footprint one instead?
Sure. We will slide this slowly so we can see this also. Sorry and thanks. Yes.
Very
This
neat.
is also neatly made, Uttara. Thank you. Okay. Go
So when I was calculating my carbon footprint according to the link that was provided, I got that I emitted 15 tons and that I was in the top 9%. So obviously this is not good. And some of the quick actions that are really self-explanatory include using reusable bags for grocery instead of using the plastic ones that they provide. If you take the reusable bags made out of cloth material instead, that would be really nice. Reusing, recycling, and reducing your waste. Also pretty self-explanatory. Planting more plants. We have a beautiful backyard, and so planting more plants to create like kind of like a mini garden would be super nice. And also turning off the lights when in use. This is something that we all forget pretty easily, and even this small action would help in reducing the carbon footprint. And some of the other ideas include avoid buying from fast fashion. So a lot of the clothes brand, well, some of them, like particularly Joe Fresh and Walmart, they produce clothes using fast fashion. And so avoiding buying clothes or anything from those brands that you know use fast fashion would really help in reducing your carbon footprint. Also buying locally grown produce. It's because most of the fruits and vegetables we see in the supermarket have a label on them that kind of says that where they are imported from and where they come from. And supporting and buying foods that are locally grown, that are in season, would really help, because then it cuts back on the carbon footprint that's emitted when the fruits and vegetables are imported from other countries. So that would be some other thing that I would do. And also using reusable water bottles instead of plastic ones, bringing my own water bottle almost everywhere I go. And also bringing my own plate to the temple as well, because in prasada and all that, they use plastic utensils. And so if I bring my own plate, I can cut back on that and help in that way as well. Thank you.
Very nice.
Thank you, Uttara. I think we need to study more on the fast fashion that you introduced, so something new, and then also bringing our own plate. So we shouldn't feel, hesitant to do that. I think that's the direct implementation of the reducing carbon footprint. Next, I think if it is V, I think you just Vijay Shanti or some, I don't know. There was a name with V. Yash Pujar, if you're ready.
Yeah. I'm gonna be doing the carbon footprint.
Okay.
Some of the things came later, so I'm trying to find. Is this you, Yash?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, this one. So it says on the website that my carbon footprint is 11.6 tons, and that places me in the top 50% of the world. And if people live like me, then we would need 2.2 Earths. So some things that I would do to reduce the amount of tons that I produce would be taking public transit, because like buses hold more people, but it releases like maybe the same amount of carbon dioxide as cars. So it's like carpooling, except buses. So I would maybe like grow food in my backyard to like cook instead of buying like processed food, because that would like help the environment. And one thing that I do a lot is like recycle, because the reason there's so many plastic water bottles in
like junkyards and polluting and everything because people don't like recycle them, right? So I'd also avoid plastic usage, like plastic bags, and try to have like a taupe or something, right? A taupe bag. So I would try to switch to an electric car. The electric cars cost a lot, so it would take investing, but it helps the environment eventually. And I would try to use like energy saving appliances and like light bulbs and maybe a fridge, because it saves like more, it doesn't use as much as electricity, so it's more helpful. And less like meat consumption is better, so maybe try to switch to vegetarian instead of eating like beef or pork, but just like vegetarian is better, right? So like maybe plant and then I'd also plant a tree, like plant a bunch of trees, maybe like grow a little garden in your backyard, so it's like you can reduce your carbon footprint. And then try to avoid fossil fuels, like usage of fossil fuels, right? Like instead of a gas fireplace that lets out smoke from your chimney, right? So then try to like install solar panels on your roof, or maybe little wind turbines, so that would save more electricity and stuff. And then keep your like appliances unplugged, so that also saves more electricity. And yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Yash. That was well written and good handwriting. Yes, nice points. And last to conclude is Yash Belman, if I'm right. If anybody else
There
is
is
there, and
also Sri Vidya.
Sri Vidya, yes, sorry. So after Yash, Sri Vidya's would follow, and then that will end our case studies on these two topics. We will have a break, okay? So let's go with Sri Vidya or Yash.
Yes.
Yash? Okay, but Sri Vidya I think is open, the file. So
yeah, who is ready? I can get
I think
Yash as well.
Yash is ready because I had called his
Yash,
name.
which one do you like? The green, go green?
I'll take the go green, the presentation.
Okay.
Yeah. So why we should go green? So why we should go green? We need to go green because the world is dying from greenhouse gases, and we as humans produce on a daily basis. Going green will help lengthen the life of the Earth by reducing air pollution and environmental toxins. Next slide. Yeah, and just simple ways to go green is to like carpool, use natural energy, switch to more electric items, or switch more electric items, recycle or use more reusable items, and use less energy or electricity. And that's really it.
That's it. Okay. Thank you, Yash.
Thank you, Yash. Slight change in the deviation from going green. Did you happen to calculate your carbon footprint? If by chance, if you didn't, that's fine. But the presentation is very neat. Thank you. Sri Vidya, are you here? Sri Vidya?
Yeah, I'm here.
Go ahead.
Hi, my name is Sri Vidya. These are I'm going to say some of the good manners me and my family follow. 1, I do prayers to God every day. I wake up early, I take bath early, and then I do prayers to God. And then I talk in a good manner to other people so they don't feel bad about it. If I make a mistake, I say sorry and I accept my mistake. I be kind to everyone. My family does puja every day.
I show respect to others. I keep my room tidy. I would donate my clothes to the needy people. If I meet someone with limited abilities, I would feel bad for them. I would try to help them if they want any help from me. I would make them feel good, and then I would ask them if they want something. Thank you.
Thanks a lot, Sri Vidya.
Thank you, Sri Vidya.
And I think that covers all presentations on the two topics. Sorry, not the presentations, case studies. And whose is this?
No, that's next.
Okay. Okay. So we'll announce a break now. 5 minutes break because youth might require that, right, Pratibha?
Yeah, sure, Nanda. But before we go on break, I just want to mention that if thanks so much for putting effort for all this in making these presentations and decks. A lot of effort and thought has gone behind this. We really appreciate it. Just one thought, like I'm almost 90% vegan, but one thought that bothers me is our Hinduism and scriptures focus a lot on, Panchamrita Abhisheka is all about dairy. I think, and when we are looking at to reduce our carbon footprint, that's one thing that's very popular is to go vegan. And a lot of you mentioned here as well. Just think about it, and if you have any ideas, because these are kind of contradicting each other, though our scripture says to use it minimally, and we use it very little in our Abhishekam and all, but our prasadam and all are very heavy. And that's the reason I'm not able to become a fully vegan, because I'm not able to decouple that part. So if you guys have any ideas that you think of, do share later with us. I'm quite interested to know more about that. How you're thinking on that road.
Yes, there are many more bigger ways like using solar panels and alternate energy sources and stuff like that to reduce carbon footprint, because industrially what we do is comparatively very high compared to the household measures that we take. That is also a next step to follow, but outside in the environment, Sriramji would know that he would be, ready to talk a lot, because this session would not be enough for that. So that is much more important. Yeah, we could discuss that as well, and all our youth are most welcome to write their viewpoint.
Do write.
So we'll have a break now. Yeah, see you all in 5 minutes.
11:55, please. Thank you.
Panaga, Panaga, are you there?
Hello.
So Panaga, what next? Now from
Okay,
11:55 we have until 12:35 or so.
So let's have Sriramji next, followed by
Okay.
Vinayak.
Okay, and Vinayak's video also, you can at times you can just jump over the video because it's a little bit lengthy, just to save time.
ಅಲ್ಲ ಏನಂದ್ರೆ
ಹೇಳಿದ್ರು ಅವರು
ಅದು
because this is
ನಾನು ಮ್ಯಾನೇಜ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ ಟೋನ್ ಮಾಡಿ. Okay. So
followed by the video, right? So
yeah.
Okay.
That's it.
I'll
ಅಷ್ಟು ಸಾಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಅನ್ಸುತ್ತೆ.
All right. I hope everyone is back now. Sorry, we didn't have more time as today's session is full with lots of speakers,
We had a
which
lot
is
of
very overwhelming response and very well presented as well, because writings and slides, whatever was created, points were well put. Many new points were added. Each one has given their own, it's a lot of thoughts and insight. That's good. And we are very thankful to all the youth for having taken interest in the case studies, preparing them, listening to the presentations, and giving their presentations as well. Okay, so I believe we can move forward. If you have all come back, please switch on your videos so that we understand that most of you are in here. And I would like to call upon Sriramji to take over, talking on the youth development programs that are happening at SVBF, which could be of lot of use for the youth who are today, who haven't been there yet. Yeah. Okay. Sriram.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, I
Thank
think you can
Nanda.
start. Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks a lot. And I'm sorry I was late for today's session. I just joined at 11:30 and had an opportunity to listen to the last few case study presentations that were being done. But if that is any indication of what had happened before, the samples that I saw, it was like mind blowing. Like,
Yes.
both the quality of content as well as the quality of the presentations, the aesthetics, both were
Yes.
very impressive. And especially the effort that the kids had taken to put such great presentations. They would put professionals to shame. Really, I mean, amazing. And a lot of new ideas. I'm going to go through the ones that I missed, especially the ones on carbon footprint reduction, a lot of new ideas like Nanda, you mentioned.
Yeah.
Some of them maybe we can start implementing. So I'll look through those case studies that have been posted on the folder. So
yes,
yeah. So I know we probably are in the last leg of the camp. I wanted to present to everybody here, all the youngsters. There are a lot of avenues in SVBF for you to come forward and contribute and develop. So I'm going to walk you through some of them. So let's start with the first one. So here is a list. Heritage class. We spoke about environment action group yesterday. There are bhajan classes. There is Jnana Parampara, which is a newsletter. And then there is SVBF working group. Then there is a table tennis facility for those of who you didn't know that before. And then we are also planning to organize a walkathon fundraiser. And then there is also volunteering opportunities for many of the temple events. And there is a big event coming up, which is Maharudram. So we'll speak about all of that. But the common thread is that it's going to be a lot of fun. I mean, there will be challenges that we will tackle together. And you will have an amazing opportunity to be mentored by several elders who have walked the path before. And net, you will have a lot of opportunities as youngsters to learn and grow and build a great network of friends as well. So it's going to be a true win-win, and it's definitely going to be a worthwhile investment of your time. You can pick, you don't have to be in everything here, right? You can pick and choose the ones that you want to be part of, but be connected with the community. So let's get rolling. Let's talk about heritage class. So some of you in this forum, I know you're already part of the heritage class that's happening. So it's called Purna Vidya. It started about 12 years ago, rather 10 years ago. It started here in SVBF in 2012. And we have completed 10 years as of this January. And my own children are actually products of this Purna Vidya, and I can personally vouch for how much it has helped them develop as well-rounded individuals rooted in our heritage and our culture. So we are blessed to have this forum here. And I encourage all of you who are here participants, the 45 plus youngsters group. We have something for everybody. We have 3 different groups in junior, intermediate, and senior. And mostly kids from 5 to 18. They are the ones that we see. There is no age restriction. Even grown-ups can be part of this if you wish to. But that's a typical age group we see. If you're interested, please reach out to me. I'm part of the group as well, but it's headed by Priya Venkat, who recently relocated to India, but she's so enthusiastic about it. She actually runs it from there. So she's on WhatsApp, and we have the sessions on Sundays, usually 10 to 11 to 12, but we also sometimes run it from 10:30. But so this is what it is. And what you learn here, slokas, stories from Puranas, values, Ishvara. When we say Ishvara, it is about an basic introduction to spirituality and Vedanta. We touch upon Advaitam and Shankara's teachings and Bhagavad Gita. So it's very profound, and we follow the curriculum prescribed by Purna Vidya by Swami Dayanand Saraswati's group. So that's a curriculum that we follow. There are prescribed texts that we follow. So anybody interested, please reach out and let's expand the group. We have about 30 people already in the group, but we are all split across 3 groups, but we can definitely welcome more. Okay, so that's about heritage class. Then we have the environment action group. We spoke about it at length yesterday, and you're already well introduced to the activities that we are doing as part of environment action group. We meet, this is a hybrid group. And by the way, the Purna Vidya group, we were doing it in person before until pandemic, but then we have switched to completely virtual. We just meet during events. So it's more efficient. So no travel involved. We are reducing the carbon footprint that way. And actually it runs more efficiently virtually. So Purna Vidya is today totally virtual, except for events when we meet. And Environment Action Group is a hybrid model. We meet every alternate weekends. Again, it has been a little bit sporadic of late because of the pandemic, but we want to reinvigorate that group with all of your participation. And we meet typically on Saturdays from 2 to 4 p.m. That's a good window. And it usually, if it's a remote session, it's for about 30 to 45 minutes. We exchange ideas and brainstorm. And when it requires some in-person action, then we gather at the SVBF community hall, and then we meet and do these DIY sessions. And then we meet and pick up garbage. Usually that's on Saturday mornings. And then we run some awareness campaigns as part of the events at SVBF. When there is an event happening like Krishna Jayanti or Ramanavami or Dasara, or we put up stalls on the side and then raise awareness. So that's how we run it. And Anup Sridhara is our point of contact. He spoke with me yesterday, so you can reach out to him. His number is given here. Okay, let's move on to the next one. So bhajan classes, and bhajan classes is another amazing forum that we have. You might have seen the kids of bhajan classes perform in virtually every major event at Purna Vidya. This is headed by our own Sharada Bhadji. She's very passionate about it. She leads it. And we have children of, again, all age groups, no risk, no limitation. I know some of you, when we listened to your superpowers yesterday, I listened to all of your talents, be it instrumental or vocal. It's a great forum for you to come together and then have fun. So you do your vocal training, you can sing, and you can play guitar or mridangam or tabla or whatnot, right? So if you're interested, please reach out to Mrs. Sharada. But again, she already has a group, but we can definitely welcome more the merrier here. Okay, let's go forward. I know there is a little video, but we will skip the video because of the time constraint. So I'll share the presentation and you can listen to the little video there. Jnana Parampara, another great initiative that brings forward the talents of our youth group. It was launched about a year and a half ago and been running very, very successfully. If you haven't had a chance to look at it, do visit our SVBF website or just Google Jnana Parampara SVBF. You will hit upon that newsletter. It gets published. It's a monthly newsletter, and it's a great forum for you to present your ideas and creative ideas, thoughts, whatever learnings you are having, and exchange that with the youth group. Some of the writings have been very impressive, from the youth, touching on Advaita, Vedanta, and even simple ones, right? So again, Pratibha, our own Mrs. Pratibha has been leading this, and you can reach out to her. Okay, so that's about Jnana Parampara.
One quick note there.
Sure.
Pratibha is inviting more children to join Jnana Parampara because
Okay.
the older ones are graduating and there are more spots available. So
Nice.
definitely reach out to Pratibha Aunty.
Yeah. So there are two types of opportunities there. One is to contribute to the newsletter itself in terms of articles and write-ups. The other one is actually to be part of the editorial group or help edit the newsletter also. If you want real experience, that's another amazing opportunity. So reach out to Pratibha, please. Okay. So the SVBF working group, this works in tandem with the Environment Action Group, but SVBF working group is a little bit more holistic. What they do is they look after the cleanliness of the premises, right? They keep the temple premises clean, both inside the temple and around it. And this is the group that was pivotal in changing our garden, right? The beautiful garden that you see, it was actually led by this group. And again, this is being led by two individuals. I've given Anup Sridhara's contact here. And there is also our Jairamji, who actually leads all of the garden initiatives. If you know him, you can either reach out to them directly. And so the groups are, and they again usually meet every alternate Saturdays to do the temple cleanup drives and the gardening drives. So there is another interesting event coming. Sorry, what was the next one? Was it table tennis? Okay. So this is another recent introduction, maybe a year old. I saw this for the first time last September 2021, or maybe roughly a year old now. So there is a table tennis facility in our SVBF community hall. Those of you who are interested to come and have fun with your friends and groups, please do leverage it. It requires some prior reservation so that you don't end up in conflicts with other person's schedule. So again, reach out to our own Mrs. Pratibha if you want to reserve. There was a Google sheet that was actually floated, but I just checked out the link. Looks like either I had an outdated link or maybe it's not functional. So Pratibha, if you're on the call, if you can say if there is a Google sheet that people can use to reserve, or we can share it offline.
We can share it.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll send out the link later, Sriramji.
Perfect.
Yeah,
okay.
Thank you.
Okay, so there is a walkathon being planned to raise funds for Etobicoke General Hospital, and the date it's almost certain, but we'll confirm the date. It's for 8th October, and let's come together, form teams, collect some funds, and then contribute that to the hospital. Very noble cause. Do participate, and once you form small teams, do reach out to our Parambadji. His number is given here. You can contact him. He's a busy person, so WhatsApp may be the best method so that it can be kind of asynchronous. You just message him and he'll reach out to you. So that's another thing. And for any of these, if you are unsure who to reach out to, don't hesitate. You can reach out to any of the organizers here in this group, and we will direct you to to the right person. You can reach out to Pannagaji or Nandaji or Pratibhaji or myself. Reach out to all of us and we will guide you to the right person. Okay, so the last but not the least, there are enough avenues for you to come and volunteer for various temple events, and some of them I named it, but I'll repeat. There is Janmashtami, or coming up on the 18th of this month, August 18th. And then there is going to be Navaratri coming up in sometime in end of September, October, early October this year. And but the big event coming up is Maharudram, and it is planned for the 27th of August. We were doing it once every 2 years, but because of the enthusiasm that we see, now we are planning to make it an annual event, and it's happening on 27th, which is a Saturday. And we will have Maharudram in the morning and Kumkumarchana in the evening. So we need a lot of youngsters and to help around the temple with the organization, right from cleaning, laying the the seating arrangements, registrations and stuff like that. So and also there are little events that will happen on the side around the main event. So we want all of you to come forward and contribute. Right now I have given Mrs. Pannaga's contact, but as I said, you can reach out to any of us and we'll guide you. So, and all of these events, so that pretty much sums up all the opportunities that we have. The good thing is that, like I said, you can get formal volunteer hours for any of these that you that you sign up for.
Yeah, and I think apart from the volunteer hours, Sriramji, I think what we learn in terms of time management, project management, event management, the soft skills that you learn are, I think, just can't be measured, and that will help you in the long run, definitely. And someday these kids might be speaking like you and I and Nanda and Pannaga, because they are the future. They'll be running the temple, supporting the temple activities. So by participating in these activities, you can learn from the elders, and someday when you are there to to lead, to run the show, you have got it all that needs to run the show.
Absolutely. Well said. That's pretty much. Thank you.
Thank you. That was wonderful. I hope definitely youth might have noted a few and then might get started, take the initiative during the summer itself. And should they have, if they have missed and should they have any questions, always, as I said, you all can get back to us, write to us, and then ask, and we will provide the information once again. Okay. So next is a small announcement with regard to youth activity, a youth symphony. You all might have heard of the name Vinayak Hegde. So he is a big music maestro. He is very closely linked with SVBF as well. He used to teach a lot before in SVBF environment. So this is something to do with youth only. So he has something to say to all of us. Panaga, would you play the
Yes.
video? And someone has asked about a certificate and the concluding program distribution, lunch and dinner. We will get back to that announcement at the end. Thank you.
SVBF is hosting Jnana Spandana, a youth initiative which is being energize the youth, and it's a great initiative by SVBF for sure. Congratulations all of you for joining this. My name is Vinayak Hegde. I am here to give you an introduction regarding the symphony. What I have taken some interest and developed it on my own with some trial and error in the initial stage, and then with some great effective results with the youth in the last 8 to 9 years of the time. This all happened because I am a musician myself, and of course I got involved with through my daughter when she was growing up. So I took interest in knowing more about symphony. During this process, I understood quite a few things, how it works, and also I learned myself on how to delegate the things in a collaborative way amongst the youth. With the, of course, all the community youth getting involved in this initiative, I started symphony with a small band initially, and then 8 to 10 people, and then later on it grew up to like 15, 20, 25 people, like that. So far I have involved in the vocal singers. I have involved on the most of the instruments being taught in the school or the high school here in North America. This symphony usually being done in schools. Here my goal was to give the best opportunity for the youth to be creative on their own, at the same time explore the music and the instrument what they are interested in. If it is vocal music, what they are interested. It's both like Western and our East Indian music. I am into Indian classical music, so I have involved the youth in the Indian music, if not the Indian classical music. Sometimes they are Bollywood, sometimes they are the regional languages, sometimes they are the Western popular music. So basically these all can be played and learned online, sometimes in person. I have done both. Of course, the time has taught us to be flexible whenever it's needed. So we have done both online teaching the youth all the instruments online, and of course they are playing at the other end, and then I'll be teaching from my end. I also got my daughter involved, who is a youth, and also several other youth leaders across North America, here in Canada as well as in US, and executed the youth symphony for the communities. When doing this symphony, so basically it's a great experience for the youth themselves, and especially when we are doing it in person, so everyone is charged up to play, sing, and get together, understand, and a lot of fun when we are doing in person, of course. Especially at the same time, when we are doing online, of course everyone is at their home, and then though we are gathering on screen, and it is understood and learned online. I also have done the online ensembling of the symphony, and also online teaching and in-person ensembling of the symphony. So all versions, all procedures, all methodologies they have their own advantages and, of course, shortcomings too. So we have done so far, like here in Toronto, minimum 3, 4, 5 years in school, and you enjoy them a lot. So I realized this one area of playing the instruments at school, and then after some years the instruments are abandoned and people are moving to study further, taking undergrad and universities, and again getting graduated and focusing on career and stuff like that, and then the music is dropped for so many other good or better reasons in our lives. Whereas this small piece of music can be learned and kept alive within us all the time if we know our own songs, probably what melody we like to play, all those kind of things. Like sometimes we like to play the flute, the saxophone, the violin, the trumpet, too, xylophone, all other. They can be a big stress reliever at times, like when we play on our own. We can learn and then of course enjoy ourselves. Also we can collaborate with our friends and then play those things too. So a very creative activity. So the same music, we sometimes do the sheet music, we sometimes do the Indian notation system. So I just would like to show a couple of examples here. This is a song for the Indian music. So the song is written in certain scale, certain tempo, certain beat, and certain notations are given here too. So like Indian notation system. Those who do not know the Indian notation system, sometimes we execute through the Western notation systems so that you understand. So the score sheets are even provided. So these are being explained to the students or the youth who's going to be participating in the symphony, and made to practice every week is would like to in the score sheet music, and it's been transferred to the students and then made them understood, and then of course along, and especially when we are here in North America, we can adapt both Indian music as well as the Western music. So there is surplus opportunities for us to grow in music and then enjoy our life with music. So thank you all for listening to me, and this presentation will be followed by few pieces of symphony what we have done and different places I mentioned earlier. Hope you all enjoyed it. Thank you very much.
We will be sharing the link to the YouTube message from Vinayak Hegde Uncle-ji. So you can take a look and listen to the music samples that is already shared. Over to you, Nanda.
Yes, with regard to this advertisement, it is something to do as a collaborative activity in the name called Symphony, which is a mini orchestra. So those who have already gotten into instrumental play, they can look forward to gaining more information. This video, as Panaga said, since we are running behind time and we have to catch up, and most of you have taken the pain to write about the festivals, that interactive session also can be considered now. And as I call a few names, although we will not be able to call out all the names, since you have already been given chance to present 2 of your topics, case studies. So we will randomly call and then at least display if we can't call every name. May I call upon Aditya Kumar to present your festivals PDF.
Can I start?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, I will.
Namaste, everyone. Pardon?
I'm sharing the screen.
Oh, okay.
Go ahead.
Namaste everyone, my name is Aditya and today I'll be talking about what me and my family do on Diwali or Deepavali. Now, Diwali is a 5-day festival where people usually wear traditional clothing like saris for the girls and kurtas for the boys. On the first day, me and my family make the rangolis in front of our house. Then we light up the diyas all around the house and turn off the lights. We eat traditional food for all 5 days and we all pray and worship Lord Lakshmi, the god of prosperity and wealth. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Aditya. And next is Arjun.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. I thoroughly enjoy celebrating Sri Krishna Janmashtami as it marks the birth of Lord Krishna, one of my favorite Hindu gods. As a small child, I loved reading comics, cartoons, and television shows about Lord Krishna, as I often admired his inspiring qualities and sheer strength. At a young age, Lord Krishna's traits encouraged me to cultivate qualities of compassion and have, in some way, shaped the person I am today. He was always rescuing his devotees in distress, and this nature inspired me to help those around me. I am also told that as a small child, I used to be very naughty, mischievous, and used to love ghee or butter, similar to Lord Krishna. Every year for Krishna Janmashtami, my family and I visit SVBF temple, where we sing bhajans and participate in several competitions. These contests include drawing and artwork, Bhagavad Gita recitals, talent shows, and more. Attending and taking part in these events annually has developed and nurtured a sense of community within me.
Thank you, Arjun. Next, can Manish speak up? Because I'm just randomly picking whoever has given different festivals so that we get to know, hear more about different festivals. So not to depress you or not to make anybody feel bad. Some repetitions are just taken out because we are running, as I said, running short of time.
So just let me get it open.
I think you're going to talk about Ganesh Chaturthi.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you.
Yes.
I'm just trying to get it open so I can see from my side.
The screen's also shared, Manish.
Yeah, you could read from the screen also.
Oh, okay. I also made some edits on my thing too. That's why. I personally find Ganesh Chaturthi more exciting and energized than the other Hindu festivals because the vibe it creates in the surrounding is very different from other festivals. Back at home in India, when me and my family used to celebrate this festival, we would wake up in the morning to start the morning with prayers in front of Lord Ganesha. In our home, we make the Ganesha with turmeric and clay using our hands. The feeling always felt so authentic while making the Ganesha. And we still make the Ganesha out of by hand today till this day at Canada too. In the big statue that moves through the town in my hometown has a loudspeaker with music playing with it. There would always be a big crowd of people dancing. At the end of the festival, they do this ritual called Nimarjanam, which signifies the birth cycle of Lord Ganesha. The ritual is done by putting the idol or statue slowly into a body of water. Also, the devotional songs played in my house during the festival are really nice to my ears. To conclude, happy early Ganesh Chaturthi.
Thank you. And can I call upon Samit to present your festival document?
Mine is pretty short.
Samit, can you come closer?
Yeah,
I think
can
there's
you
a
get...
lag. There's a lag in the voice. You're breaking up. Your voice is breaking up, Samit. Samit, your voice is.
Samit, can you get closer to your mic, please? Whichever you're using.
Maybe he has a network issue.
Okay. Can you try again, or else maybe Nanda can summarize what he has done.
I'm just using different mic.
Yeah, it is lagging. Samit.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Maybe you can turn off the video.
Yeah.
You can
Go
turn
ahead,
off the
Samit.
video, Samit. That might conserve. Yeah, get better, hopefully.
You could.
Hello?
Yes.
Yep.
Go ahead, Samit.
We can hear you now.
Okay. My family celebrates almost every Hindu festival. My family is also very keen on yoga. We do it like every morning before meals. In fact, my dad top 3 for 2 consecutive years for Panorama's India International Yoga Day competition. While we don't necessarily do anything special in yoga, yoga is a central part of our family's lifestyle.
Thank you, Samit. Can I call upon Ananya Pai? Because she had made only on festivals. If Ananya is right here.
Hi.
Yeah, we can hear you, Ananya. Please go
Okay.
ahead. Okay, so just wait for a few seconds. Yours is coming up. We'll just have a couple more, and that ends with all our case studies. So those who haven't been called, please, as I said, you have been given chance already to speak. And if there is anybody who has been left out, please unmute yourself and call out your names. We will do that. Okay, Ananya, go ahead.
I chose Navratri. So Navratri is a festival celebrating the goddess Parvati and each of her avatars or incarnations. That leads to my first reason as to why I like Navratri. It shows the power of goddesses and in such women as well. Navratri is a good combination of everything. You meet people, there's entertainment, you can dance, and most importantly, there is good food. My family celebrates Navratri by doing a small puja during all the days of Navratri. On the Shera, or the last day of Navratri, there is a huge celebration within our community where several people gather and there is a big puja along with dances and skits. During this program, everyone plays dandiya or garba as well. Every year, they serve puri and amras, which is a sweet mango extract. On one of the days, our close family friend invites us to her house and she has lots of golu dolls set up. Then she does a very small puja and usually there are 4 or 5 other families there. We also celebrate with the SVBF community when they do the puja and have all the dolls set up. And that is how my family celebrates Navratri. Thank you.
Thank you, Ananya. And one point to note, Aditya Raghuraman, I think he presented his submissions a little late. I don't know about this Panaga. I was not able to open that because it says you need the permission. I think he didn't give the access. That is the reason that I would bring it out, because if you can.
Okay, I can open it right now. Are you looking at a festival?
Yes, festivals only, because I don't think he has spoken before. Aditya Raghuraman.
Yeah,
This
no,
is
the
another
submission
Aditya.
came in late.
It came in late, so I'm just seeing that it just now came. So if festivals can be done, because he has not spoken.
In the meantime, I think I saw one that I wanted to just put it out there.
Utpalas?
Yeah, okay.
Okay. Something colorful, so everybody would love to see that probably. Yeah. Just to give.
Yeah, I
Yes.
chose Ganesh Chaturthi. So it's a celebration of one of my favorite Hindu god. So Ganesh Chaturthi is celebrated on the birth of Ganesha. So we have prayers, puja, and we worship him for dasas. We celebrate Ganesh Chaturthi in many different ways. In my family, we make a colorful clay statue at home, and we perform pujas and leave it for a couple of days. And the doll is immersed in water. So this signifies that Ganapati was made from clay and earth by Parvati. So it's the birth cycle of Ganesha. Now he can return home, and after a couple of days stays at the devotee's home or temple. And of course, I love the snacks and modaka.
Hey, thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Thanks for the nice presentation. This is so colorful.
I got the festival.
Aditya Raghuraman, if you're here, can you please unmute and then start talking? Yeah.
Is it possible to remove that box or open it?
No, it is not allowing me to. I'm trying.
Yeah.
But that's okay.
That is okay, thank you. You can go ahead when we can hear you speak about that portion, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
The celebration of lights. There's been a festival called Diwali. Hinduism claims that Lord Rama killed the evil King Ravana on this day and then returned to his hometown of Ayodhya. The citizens of Ayodhya illuminated the houses and streets with oil lights to welcome the coming of their monarch. Since that time, the Hindus have continued celebrating the holiday with the ceremony. Everyone loves Diwali because they get to wear new outfits and consume their favorite sweets, making it their favorite celebration. The event reminds us that the light always dispels darkness and the virtue always triumphs over evil. During Diwali, there is a joyful mood in every Indian home. That is what makes it my favorite festival. We start planning a week before Diwali itself. Going to the store and picking our favorite sweets is the best. At the same time, we would buy firecrackers and new clothes. On the day of Diwali, we would all wake up early and wear new clothes. We would give everyone sweets and spread positivity. We would connect with family back home and wish everyone. At night, we would all get together and go to a park to light our firecrackers and celebrate the Festival of Lights.
It is so well written to spread positivity finally, having entertainment, fun and everything together, and also lot of good tasty savories and sweets to enjoy. So well written. Thank you everybody for your efforts, for your time and your thoughts and presenting all your submissions. Unfortunately, if you feel that the festival's PDF or the document that you had presented should have been displayed here and you had to be given opportunity, very sorry about that. But because I hope everybody has been given opportunity to speak up at least during the first case study session. So since we have to keep up the time, so I would like to call upon Ravi Shankar ji to just say the vote of thanks now. Ravi ji.
Thank you. Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. My name is Ravi Shankar and I'm a volunteer at SVBF. I know you're all hungry, but so I promise you I'll not take more than 2 or 3 minutes. You all had great fun learning various topics in the last 2 days, and this is the time to thank the people behind this great initiative. You know, our youth are the leaders of tomorrow, and this has been the main focus for SVBF since its inception. As many of you may be aware, we have been conducting the leadership conference called the Levy every year since inception. It's because of the pandemic we could not conduct the last couple of years, and that's when Jnana Spandana took birth. Jnana Spandana is an initiative by one of our volunteers, a summer and spring empowerment program to help our youth grow as competent young adults who can meet all challenges in life and become leaders of society. SVBF would like to place on record the unstinting efforts of Pannaga Adiga in initiating this program, creating the flyers, preparing the course booklet, arranging for guest speakers, and also conducting the program. Thank you so much, Pannaga. SVBF, the parents, and of course the participants have greatly appreciated this initiative. Since inception of the program last year, another person who ably assisted Pannaga in conducting the program with great passion is Nanda Venkat. SVBF would like to thank Nanda for her efforts, great support in researching the topics for inclusion, and successfully conducting the program. Thank you, Nanda ji.
Thank you. Thanks for the opportunity.
Pratibha Ampapur is another volunteer who has taken great efforts and role in this summer's program. In spite of her busy schedule as a supply chain professional, Pratibha has found time to join Pannaga and Nanda to teach the basics of Sanatana Dharma, as well as conducting some fun games to make this program very interesting. Thank you so much, Pratibha, for your involvement. SVBF also would like to thank all the professional guest speakers who enlightened our participants on a wide variety of interesting topics, which I'm sure all of you have greatly benefited. I, for one, personally benefited with some of the case studies and also the articles presented by the guest speakers. Our heartfelt thanks to Sriram Gopal Krishnan, Anup Sridhara, Professor Narayanan Netilat, and Darshan Saraf. In fact, Sriram Gopal Krishnan joined the team this year. He was also helping us in designing the program and giving us advice. He was also helpful in bringing Professor Narayanan to this panel for this summer's program. Thank you so much, Sriram. It is believed that music can impact the way our brain processes information and improves our ability to communicate with others. It was a great idea to bring Sri Vinayak Hegde to speak about the music symphony, and I thank Vinayak for that. Thank you, Vinayak and Shivani, for sharing your knowledge and also helping the youth to take part of future symphony programs. Thank you so much. And our biggest thanks goes to all the participants, young participants, for your active participation. I'm sure that you all have something to take home after these 2 days, and we hope the 2 days of the program has helped you to some extent in your development as young adults. We wish you all the very best in your future. Finally, this program would not have been possible without the support of SVBF trustees. And on behalf of all of you, I would like to thank the trustees for providing this platform to the organizers and the participants. If you have any positive feedback, please share it by sending an email or posting it in the WhatsApp group. And if you have any suggestions to improve the program for future students, please do share them as well. Your support to SVBF is greatly appreciated. And we look forward to all of your participation as volunteers in our future programs as well. Please keep in touch with Panaga or Pratibha or Sriram if you are interested. Thank you so much. Take care and have a wonderful rest of the summer. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you, Raviji. Thanks to all the youth who have participated in the 2-day sessions yesterday and today. So finally, we just wanted to answer questions asked by a couple of them. When do we get the certificate of participation? So we just came up with an idea of holding a distribution of certificates during our Janmashtami celebrations, which will take place on August 20th. That's a Saturday. I understand this is summer, it's ending up, and slowly you will wrap up all the activities, fun activities, and get busy with your schools. So I'm not really sure how many would be able to make it to the temple that day. We are expecting you. There will be prasadam, and that you can have in the side hall next to the temple, and lot of fun-filled activities and educative and interactive activities are planned for that day. It is supposed to take place during in between these celebrations on that day. So we expect you sometime around 3 p.m. to be there. So if you can have know the information and then beforehand, and then talk to your parents and let us know. We will be sending out a form. Yes, Paramana. So we will be having lunch and dinner provided that day. Yes, the answer, somebody had asked if we are getting the lunch and dinner. So it is a yes. You will be definitely given. And you can watch the Janmashtami celebrations also. You can stay there and learn a lot from there, and you can participate as well. If you have already given names, that's really good. So 3 p.m. to 4 in that time range, we have 4 so far planned. Knowing your opinion in the form is really helpful for us. So please do send the reply. The form also will have a section where there will be a question. Your identities will definitely not be revealed. It will be kept anonymous. So you could feel free, please go ahead, and this is useful for both ways. For you to benefit out of a better program, if you feel so, if you need some suggestions to be made, definitely go ahead, give a full feedback for the programs that you have witnessed already, and plus your suggestions and comments, like how we can improvise, what ways we can make it look better and present in a better way for the next sessions coming up in the next year, next sessions. Okay, so that form will have the 2 things. One is about feedback, another is about your confirmation to come on August 20th. And Jnana Parampara magazine will be more than happy to publish the articles made on festivals. So youth, I request you not to feel bad if at all you were not called to present your submissions. So they will be published, and in a forum now more people can get access to go through them, and your efforts can be seen by all. So that's a good thing. Thank you. If there is anything to add on to this, Panaga or Pratibha, please go ahead.
Yeah, I can add that all the fantastic job for all the case studies, and all the case studies will be compiled together. We'll take out the names, but that will be again shared on the website. So we'll have another page for today's program where we will share the course material and share all the participants' case studies together. And then, as Parmana mentioned, that we will be using the festivals that was shared with us, as well as the slides that we have created in the Jnana Parampara. And sorry that we could not accommodate talking about the leadership, as well as leadership tools, as well as the festivals today because of the shortage of time. But feel free to read through it on your own in the book. And as well as I want to point out that we will try to in our future sessions, we will come and expand more on the leadership and have more topics to cover on that. But if you have any questions on any of the topics, do reach out to us. You have our email. We will be providing the details on the date and time. And Nanda Aunty already mentioned that where the certificates will be provided. We're looking at the temple on the 20th during the Krishna Janmashtami celebration, somewhere between 3 to 4. That is because we will be having our program as part of the Krishna Janmashtami programs that's already being planned. We will have something to eat, really yummy food to eat, and we will have the form as Nandanti mentioned, and we will ask for your attendance. So please reply how many people are coming and all that good stuff, and more details will be shared there. We love your feedback, and feel free to share anything, any good comments or suggestions for improvement. We can always improve.
Yeah, the video recordings of both the days sessions, yesterday's and today's, they will be published on SVBF's website. Please wait until they are going to be posted. So feel free to watch them. If you have missed because of taking a break or you want to go through it again, so there you go. It will be on SVBF's website as well. So I think we have wrapped up everything. If there is anything from anybody, please feel free.
Sorry, Nanda.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, I just have 2 minutes. I just want to mention about Jnana Parampara. I know we are at the last stage. We have run out of time. We are out of time. I'll try to be real quick. Thank you, Ravi, for a wonderful vote of thanks. In fact, I would say thanks to you, Param Uncle, and all the trustees for trusting on us and giving us this opportunity to, conduct this. It's the second year. We're very grateful to you all for your guidance and support. And thanks to all the participants. With, not spending more time, I just want to share more about Jnana Parampara. Sriram already mentioned about it. So we have some kids who are graduating and who are going to join the university. And there are some kids who will be in grade 12, and they have done a phenomenal job over, last a year and a half in churning out amazing articles, newsletter every quarter. So we would welcome, all of you can participate in 2 different ways. One is either you can join the editorial board, where you get an opportunity to learn to lead the whole newsletter edition. And, you get to learn about time management, task management, conflict management, expectations, project management, a whole lot of things. And it's fun. And second way you can participate is you all have amazing superpowers. That could be drawing, it could be art, it could be music, or writing articles, presentations. You can share. Like some of the stuff that you have presented in, for today, case study, could be a great article, like reducing carbon footprint, your initiative, your follow through, how you're following up, what are the actions you have implemented and the results you have seen. You can write about it. And some of you are really good at art, like, you can share your artwork. We'll be happy to publish. So please do reach out to either of us here on the group, and then we can help you get onto the editorial board, or as a contributor to the newsletter. But we need a lot of volunteers. We definitely need more hands and brains, and we are happy to have you. And thank you so much. Thanks, Nanda. Thanks, Panaga. That was on Jnana Parampara.
Thank you. Is that it?
Yeah, I think we have
Can
wrapped
I
up. Thank
finish
you
with
to
the
all
last
the
shloka?
yes,
Sorry.
yes. From my side, thank you to everybody for the participation. Wonderful. Thanks.
Thank you, Nanda. I'll finish the program with the shloka. Purnamada Purnamidam Purna Purnati Ujjate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Tat Sat. Om Jagannath Ki Namah. Thank you very much, everyone, for the program, for attending the program, and all the best, and enjoy your summer.
Thank you so much. Bye.
Thank you, everyone. Look forward
Bye,
to seeing
everyone.
you all in person on August 20th, probably.
Yes.
We'll see you there. Thanks.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Have a lovely weekend, you all.
Thank you for all those who have written on chat line. There are so many who have said a lot of good words. Thanks for all the nice words said. Please write your suggestions too. Thank you. Thank you, Manish. Bye. Okay.
I think.
So I think everyone is
okay. Yeah, cool.
Okay. Yay!
Congratulations.
It's like a big thing done.
Yeah.
Exam ಬರ್ದಂಗೆ. Exam ಮುಗೀತು ನಮ್ದು. ಪರೀಕ್ಷೆ ಮುಗೀತು.
That's so true. It's so true. But I think it came out so well.
Yeah, a little bit of rush ಆಯ್ತು ಇವತ್ತು ಒಂದು ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ. Pannaga's presentation was not their leadership in though, so that couldn't be. But we will post that for sure.
Yeah, end of the day, ಅವರು ಮಕ್ಕಳು ಮಾತಾಡೋದಕ್ಕೆ ನಮ್ಮ ಆಪರ್ಚುನಿಟಿ ತುಂಬಾ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾಯ್ತು. And a lot of them, pretty much all of them, alwa, maybe ಒಂದು very small percentage did not submit, but otherwise, let me stop recording here.
Yeah, I think so. I think we should end actually. Nangadu aware agಲಿಲ್ಲ. Thank you for saying that. We can actually